Introducing Pubcoin. Pubcoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into Pubcoins. Pubcoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Pat Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! Here he goes. There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here, oh, look at No Splash Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Can. Kenny Can wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make it right? Can Res Mom make it to be $50? You son of a bitch! Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can Smoke and Mirrors. Director 97 home. That is great. Here comes Jason Meyer, the other auto custodian. Billy Friedrich. Jones one. They're all coming down to the finish.
Coin! Fired! That's nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the Clark of Peter Low Shack, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a Dom. Father young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA when we all PSR, Pub Sports Radio, bizarre. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, betting with the bag and you love it. We want a top 10, we above it. Leche.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, November 20th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. There are certain shows throughout the year that mean more to me than others. Today is an extremely important show. It's an extremely important day for me in the National Hockey League. I've been losing And, unfortunately, I've been here in my best sport. I've been in this position before over the years. And every year I climb out of it. But it's not a given. You have to earn it. You have to work your way out of it. And today's NHL card is extremely important. I have colleagues, friends all around me delivering the goods, winning in NHL, and I'm happy for them. I'm not competing with them at all. This is not, I want us to win, but I am not doing my part in this. And today's NHL card is extremely important. So I need to get that out of the way. It's business today. Secondly, and I should be extremely excited about it, but I'm full of stress and anger about what I'm doing in NHL. I mean, I'm up over 10% ROI in NFL this year, and all that money is gone. It's all gone into NHL, and I want it back. I want it back now. But Pubapalooza dates have been announced. They have been announced March 26th to March 30th. We have the poker night on Friday night. We have the comedy night on Sunday night. And other than that, we are going to be at the Southtown 101 Gambling Heavy. Southtown 101 in San Antonio, Texas. Pubapalooza dates have been announced. It's going to be jammed. Pubapalooza 5. If you can make it, do. There's no events going on in San Antonio. Flights to San Antonio are cheap, and don't get hotels unless you really want a hotel. Airbnbs, get an Airbnb around the bar, $100 a night, around $100 a night, and meet us. It's the greatest weekend of the year. Jeff was like, well, it's Pubapalooza 5. Maybe we should do it in Vegas. And we were all like, no. We all want to be at the Southtown 101 drinking and gambling heavy for 4 days straight. 5 days straight. I'll be in on Wednesday. I leave on Monday. That's how I always do it, Wednesday to Monday. So Pubapalooza dates have been announced. We're going to have promo for it. We're going to get more excited about it. But right now, I need to get this money. And that is the most important thing in my life right now. Jonathan Maltai says, if you want my picks, you want to make a bunch of money in NHL. So do I, just not this year. And of course, Jonathan, I don't ask for anybody else's picks. I don't tail. I do the work myself. But of course, I'd like to hear everybody's action. Shout out to all the cappers joining us. We got Justin McKelvey, Stacks play of the day, 1 and 2 in Memphis Tigers plus 16.5 and LA Clippers plus 6. Now we have a pretty nice NCAA basketball card here. I went 3-2 in NBA and 3-2 in college basketball yesterday, but I picked 3 games. Now I bet them last night in hopes that the line would move my direction. Well, they haven't, but it turns out that many of my colleagues are on bets that I was very close to making that ended up on the cutting room floor that I still may bet. So we do have 9 games being capped by Spooner and I. We have action on every game. It's not content for content's sake. We made bets on every single game we'll be talking about. Memphis, Purdue, Bahamar Championship in Nassau. Robert Morris, St. Bonaventure. Brown, Stony Brook, Mercyhurst, Miami of Ohio. Colgate, Cornell, Northeastern, Princeton. Cal Poly, Utah. St. Joseph, UNLV. The copy and paste our guy Stacks' action here right now and get it locked and loaded here. We got Justin ready to go. So Clippers and the Memphis Tigers. I can't wait to cap that game. Gorky is on the Kings on the puck line and Washington. Now Gorky can feel confident that I am on the other side of that. But I told you guys at the beginning of this road trip that they would win every single game on the road trip. I was almost right. They only lost 1. And then I would fade them in San Jose. So that was my plan always. I mean, it's very difficult. Now, look, I know that they're a very good hockey team, the Kings. I mean, I've been fighting against a couple people about that, but I think they're a good hockey team. Now Drew Doughty is out, but it's tough to have a 5-game Eastern road trip, then fly across the continent home, but not go home. go to San Jose instead. I think it's just a tricky spot. So I told you guys all along I was going to be on the Sharks, and I am on the Sharks. Trill OG play of the day is the Bills Texans under a 43.5. We're going to talk all about that game. My partner and Bankroll Blitz, Troy Torrance, is also on the under 43.5. And you know I am an under better and just want to bet unders, basically. I'm not on the under in Texans Bills. I don't have the conviction to go up against you guys on the over at this point. I mean, trying to build the conviction, and I just don't have it. But I'm not on the under. Now, who do you want to listen to about Houston Texans football? Well, host of the Trill OG play of the day, LJ from H-Town. That's who you want to listen to. So that is copied and pasted. LJ moving on the under 43.5. Troy Torrance on the under 43.5. Series business in the house. Now, here's Billy Friedrich on Robert Morris University as the Pig Milk play today. I'm on it too. This line opened up at 12.5 and moved down to 10.5. And like an ass clown, that's when I got involved. It actually moved to 10. It moved back to 10.5. I could have waited. I'm with you on the Pig Milk, Robert Morris. Look, I'm with Robert Morris, Pig Milk. I'm on the taint play of the day, and we don't talk to each other pregame about our action. I'm on all of this. Incarnate Word money line with Bills money line for Gooey McDougal. Thank you for joining us. Let's get this all copied and pasted. We're going to have to work very quickly here. We have a 12-game NHL card and 1 game in NFL with our first guest. We have a hell of a show. Ian Cameron getting us started. Then in comes Morgan Spooner. Spooner, and we're going to go right into college basketball with Spooner. So we're going to do NHL and NFL with Bobano. Then we have college basketball with Spooner. And then Daby Cab comes in. Now, Daby, at this point, there's no college basketball for Daby Cab. He's 6-2 on our show on the young year in college basketball. But we will be talking about college football tonight. And he has added a prop in USC, Oregon, that is official that he's bet. So that will be us talking about 40 kid in the house. Nasty Nate, Peanut. We got Peanut. Keon Coleman expected to be benched again, he says, and he's on the under 21.5 receiving yards for Keon Coleman. Of course, our live stream will be right here in business this very evening. Let me keep copying and pasting action. Where the hell did I put everybody's action? What the hell did I do? Oh, my God, I put it here. I have no idea. I put it after college basketball, but that's fine. I'll keep copying and pasting the action here. Justin McKelvey rolling with that over 146 and 146 in the Southern Indiana ICW Incarnate Word spot. Ronnie Lofton in the house. Ken Mizrahi, Kelly McInnes. What a great group. Nasty Nate says 125 days until we reunite. Oh, God. I wish it was tomorrow, but it's okay. I'm going to put my head down, battle through this winter, get paid, make money, and then meet everybody in San Antonio. Slatsy says, huge NHL card. Slatsy, I'm on 3 of those spots. 3 of those 4 spots here. We have our first guest ready to rock. I'm going to keep copying and pasting action here from Cappers in the chat, but we've got to get to work. We've got to move quickly. John Maltese, Jerry Beatty, 9 Legacy. We got 9 Legacy. Losing Better. My Dude. Xavier Oliver. Black Thor King. Slatsy says, Bobano fighting the good fight. He was sick as a dog yesterday. What a guy he is. He's ready to rock with us right now because all he wants to do is cap like all of us. MMA Mad Hatter. Our leader in the NFL Cappers contest, Mad Cheddar play of the day is the Oilers. And are we absolutely nuts, MMA Mad Hatter? Because I'm on the Oilers too. I'm on the Oilers as well. I'm right with you here. Gorky has Texans money line. He cashed with Arizona money line last night. Billy Friedrich on Sharks money line. First period Stars. First money line. First period Stars are in terrible injury shape. Look, all I want to do is fade the Canucks, but it's a very difficult thing here to do. Looks like we've got everybody's action here. I got flank steak. Tell me I got flank steak here. I don't. Let me get the flank steak play of the day and Rashawn Killer in the house. Everybody ready to rock? Let's get to work here. Let me just get flank steak in. All right, it is time to talk NHL. You know what? I'm very thankful that our first guest is battling through sickness to cap with me and you all here in NHL today, because this is, I would say, one of the most important shows of the year for me. When you see my record, you'll see the debacle. You'll see how much money it's cost me. And I want to change that right now. Our first guest record is very strong, and it would be variance, as overtime and shootouts have been happening at the highest rate we've ever seen. They haven't been happening on Thursdays. So our first guest would be up 15 units if he could cash some of these overtime and shootouts. It's just variance, because he's cashing them on all the other days of the week. It just happens to be out of a fluke that Thursdays aren't going to overtime or a shootout, but you'll still see a very strong record despite it being would be up 10 units if there was no draws in this action. Please welcome from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada's black and yellow steel town, the star of the Hitting the Books YouTube channel, the star of the Ice Guys, the star of the NBA OG show, fighting through sickness to cap this NHL card. Let's be rewarded financially. Please welcome our friend, Mr. Ian Cameron, to the show. Bobano, how are you? I think you're muted, my man, unless it's me.
We're doing okay. I mean, we've been battling it for a few days under the weather, but we're ready to go for another NHL slate.
Oh, man, I forget that losing better is Mikey D. Sorry, Mikey D, my angry stepfather, whom I love so dearly. Let me get that here so I can remember. Bobano, thank you for fighting the good fight. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to everybody in the chat. I'm getting destroyed in NHL right now. And I've actually been here before. I've been down 20 units early in the year, and every time I've climbed out of it. But it's not a given. It doesn't just happen because you want it to happen. You have to earn it. Let's go ahead and earn it right now. AOD says this is Bobano's flu game. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern with the Columbus Blue Jackets, 10-8-2, 5-5-1 on the road at Toronto Maple Leafs, 9-9-2, 8-4-2 at home at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. Joseph Wall looks very good to start this campaign. And thank God for the Leafs, because Stolarz does not look good. Joseph Wall, 1-1-0, 2.44 goals against average, 918 save percentage. Now, I've got the goalies listed from early this morning. Things change, as you know. I've got Wall and Jet Greaves listed. Jet Greaves, 6-4-2, 2.79 goals against average, 904 save percentage. Before we even get in here to this, the market movement, we have to go right to this injury report because it is insane. Of course, Boone Jenner out for the Jackets. That's not the issue. Captain Boone Jenner out. The Toronto Maple Leafs injury report is horrific. These guys are all out. Sammy Blais is the only one who's day-to-day. We have Stolarz out. Scotty Lawton out. Matthew Nyes out. Now, Matthew Nyes and Scott Lawton, it's not impossible that they return here. Matthew Nyes could possibly return here. Let's just get the last minute information on. No. Oh, yes, he could. It's possible that Nyes comes back. So he's one guy who could be back here. We'll hear if Bobano thinks that is likely or not. Austin Matthews out. Nicholas Roy out. So there's two extremely important centers. Christopher Tanev out. He's been out for a while, but now Brandon Carlo is out as well. And I wasn't planning on moving on the Jackets initially. This is game 3 and 4 nights. It's not exactly the perfect situation for the Columbus Blue Jackets, but they are going up against a beaten down hockey team. So the Jackets they had a back-to-back. They had a back-to-back Monday, Tuesday. They had Wednesday off. So Monday they were at home against Montreal. They won in a shootout. Montreal's free-falling. Then on Tuesday, they lost at Winnipeg. Merzlikins was in net. Jet Greaves has taken over the number 1 spot. And here they are, game 2 of a road trip. They play next on Saturday in Detroit. The Toronto Maple Leafs are actually, if they weren't getting decimated by injuries, are in a pretty nice spot. They had a couple days off before their latest home game. Is a 3-2 overtime victory against whom we believe is a very weak Blues team. That stopped a 5-game losing streak. They needed the extra session to get there. And then they play in Montreal on Saturday night, hockey night in Canada in Montreal. Line history-wise here, we have these Columbus Blue Jackets at minus 109. They opened up at plus 102, so we've had 11-cent move towards them. From a total standpoint here, we have this sitting at 6.5, minus 111 to the over. So the only question I have, Ian, is should I do what Kent Davies is doing and add more to the Columbus Blue Jackets with the state of affairs the Leafs are in right now? Ian Cameron, take it away. Game 1 on the board.
Well, that's the big question. I look at it as, look, there's a lot of injuries for the Leafs. There's no question about it. They are a decimated team. But when you're on a long losing streak and you snap that losing streak, and all the comments were positive after that win against St. Louis, where, we've committed defensively, we worked our ass off, we did all the little things to win that game. And a lot of the sentiment was, well, it's a great first step, but it doesn't mean anything unless we build on it. And my philosophy is when a team's on a long losing streak and they bump the skid, I want to take them. So this is Toronto or pass for me. Now I'm waiting to see what the injury situation is going into the opening phase. I haven't moved on the Leafs yet at the moment. But like I said, I'm leaning that way. My intention is to take them, but I want to see exactly what their lineup looks like. I do like the draw. The draw I will lock in. I know the draws haven't been great so far, or else we could have had a really good, like I said, record. But this fits a lot of draw parameters. Columbus has been in a lot of overtime games lately. The Leafs, 2 of their last 3 games have gone past regulation as well. A lot of overtime history between these teams in Toronto especially. So we will take the draw plus 340.
Draw plus 340 here for Bobano. I saw Brube's talk in the dressing room. I watched them decide not to give the belt to Mr. Casual, Nylander. I watched them move and give it to Johnny 1T, who is, first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't care.
Well, that goal doesn't happen for Nylander without Tavares' work there in the zone.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I don't care. This is was a garbage fight. The Blues, I think, are they a bottom 5 team in the NHL? Or are they a bottom?
Well, they're not good. That's the other element of this. It's a great win. It snaps the losing streak, but it's not like they beat a phenomenal team either. Yeah, Blues have their issues.
Well, I guess it's not necessary to double down. I still have interest in doubling down. We have stacks on the over 6.5 here. My penchant for unders has been hurting me badly so far this year. What's keeping you off the over in this one?
Yeah, I'm not on the over actually. I've been riding Toronto overs 2 in a row now. I've stayed under. They finally look like they're committing to playing better defensively, and I think they feel they need to play that way with all the injuries. So yeah, no total for me here.
So I'm on the Jackets at minus 111. I still have interest in doubling down. Tanev and Carlo out, Matthews and Roy out. If I'm the Jackets, I cross-check Nylander, Mr. Casual, and Johnny Tavares every single time I see him. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Washington Capitals, Montreal Canadiens. These Canadiens are free-falling, and I'm still betting them despite Sammy Montembeault in net. Optional misery, you may ask. Is this optional misery? I'm choosing to fade the Capitals after that big win last night. So let's talk and set this one up. These Charlie Lindgren, 3.16 goals against average, .893 save percentage. It's astonishing to watch how bad the special teams have played this year. I do not expect them to stay as bad as they have been. But we see this year after year when a team is 15 and 20 games into the season and has a bottom 3 power play, they don't usually get out of it. There is something wrong with it. Who are we pointing the finger at? Carlson, McMichael. Protas doesn't seem to be the player he was last year. That's up for debate. 30th ranked power play, 28th ranked penalty kill for the Capitals. Montreal special teams haven't been good. 14th ranked power play, 21.4%, 78.5% penalty kill. It's very uncomfortable to be backing these Habs with Montembeault in net, but I have to sell the Capitals high after that performance. Yesterday, second half of a back-to-back. The Habs are missing Line, Newhook, Doc, and Gooley. Gooley out till January 8th, the most important of the 3. The Capitals are a pretty healthy group now. It's just Pierre-Luc Dubois, who's going to be out for a long time at this point. We have a Capitals squad, as I said, 2 wins in a row. They had a 3-game homestand. They look pretty good throughout it. And the Habs have lost 4 straight. They look better at Columbus. They've lost 3 straight at home. Those 3 games, they've been outscored 15-3 in the 3-game losing streak at home, and I am still backing them here. AM is on the cat, and what a call on the Flames yesterday by our friend AM. He's on Capitals money line here, plus 122, says the blow up bet, a team that just blew out its previous opponent by 3-goal margin, so only the team in question is a road dog. Peanut with him on the Caps, Philly Eagle Flyer on the Caps, but Kent Davies has 2 units on the Habs with me. Slatsy says Habs really banged up, but Caps off back-to-back. Caps 4-1 last 5 versus Habs. Habs 9-1 last 10 to the over. Ian Cameron, take it away.
I have to take Montreal in this spot. I think it's just, they've had days off. They're going to be certainly playing, you would think, with a sense of urgency, trying to snap this losing streak. And for Washington coming in off the 7-5 win against Edmonton last night, I think it's a tough spot for them, like the way it sets up for Montreal. It's just a price you got to take in this game. And by the way, this playoff revenge, too. Not that matters, but first time playing Washington since they knocked out Montreal in the first round of the playoffs last year. So I think Montreal's ready to go. I think they bumped the slump tonight, minus 128 with Montreal. I also like this over. Montreal's another one of these over streakers right now. 9-1 to the over in their last 10 games. Lindgren in net, don't trust him. I think Montreal gets their offense going. Washington's starting to finally, as we've seen the last couple games, get their offense going too. 4 straight meetings in Montreal with these 2 teams have gone over the total as well. So I will tack on the over as well. Over 6 minus 108.
Over 6 minus 108. You got 2 cents better price than I did. Shout out to Markel in the house. Bobano on the Habs minus 128. I'm on the Habs minus 130. Slatsy says the over would be his only look. Of course, Slatsy knows this Montreal team very, very well in Montreal, our friend Slatsy. We roll on. Next up for 7 p.m. Eastern, the New York Islanders 11-7-2, 7-4-1 on the road. Detroit Red Wings 12-7-1, 7-3-1 at home at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Look, it's fair to say that Patrick Roy is doing a very good job. I don't like this roster very much. Now, Matthew Schaefer has brought a lot of excitement to the squad. Benching Barzal has seemingly worked. Horvat is doing what he does, at times playing well. At least he's winning faceoffs. And this Islander team has been on a spectacular road trip. And this is the end of a road trip. And I like fading teams on the end of a spectacular road trip. I'm doing the same thing with the Kings. I'm fading them. We have sitting here the 7th game of a 7-game road trip. I imagine, well, it's too bad they're playing St. Louis, because I'd like to fade them as soon as they get home. This is a real tough stretch for them. They fly back tomorrow, and then they play back-to-backs at home for St. Louis and Seattle, teams you don't really want to back. But look what they've done on this road trip. They beat the Rangers 5-0 and beat the Devils 3-2 in overtime. Now, that didn't really count as the road trip as they were in New York. Then they flew to Vegas, beat Vegas 4-3 in overtime. Then beat Utah 3-2 in overtime. Lost to Colorado. No harm in that. So my only NHL future for the Cup is the Avalanche. They look like juggernauts. And then they beat Dallas 3-2. They're sitting here with 5 wins out of these 6 road games they played in a row, and I'm fading them here. This is tough. Now they have to go home tomorrow. They are dealing with injuries. Alexander Romanov and Simon Holmstrom, defenseman and right winger respectively, are out day to day. I don't expect them to come back till they get home, but they could. Ethan Bear out, and of course Pierre Engvall out for the season. The Detroit Red Wings are a team that I'm comfortable backing. They're extremely healthy right now. And this is a team where their special teams are better than I expected. 80.4% penalty killing. The Islanders' penalty killing is better than I expected. The Islanders' power play is worse than I thought it would be. 27th in the NHL, 15.2%, while Detroit's at 21.7%. The Detroit power play has struggled a little bit of late. I'm backing these Red Wings here. I got them. It's expensive, minus 131. And, I had the Habs and the Red Wings set up for a -1 bet. And I stopped myself because I was only betting it because I'm not winning right now and I wanted a bigger score. And that's not right. It's the more responsible bet, especially with an Islanders team that's going into overtime so often. It's just a bet at money line. I had it queued up in the -1. I stopped it. We have the Red Wings coming off their second straight win, 3rd and 4. They're coming off a 4-2 victory at home over the Kraken, a team I don't really believe in. Shout out to Just My 2 Cents in the house. We have them in a great spot. Game 2 of a 3-game homestand. They host Columbus on Saturday night. Ian Cameron, take it away.
Yeah, I don't argue with any of that. I think it's a tricky spot for the Islanders. They've played great. That was a very it was a crazy game against Dallas the other night. The hanging on at the end, the goal disallowed, the incident with Rantanen and Romanov, where Romanov gets hurt going into the boards. And, it's the kind of game that you wonder if this team's going to have a little bit of a emotional hangover from a win like that. 3-2 against Dallas. They've had a great road trip, beating the likes of the Devils, Rangers, Vegas, Utah, Dallas. The only loss was to Colorado. It's the tail end of this trip. Detroit coming off a 4-2 win against Seattle, playing pretty good hockey at home of late, 7-3-1. They also looking to earn some redemption because the Islanders just absolutely destroyed them last month when they played in Belmont, New York. 7-2 Islanders beating the Red Wings last month. So I like that angle, how it sets up for Detroit here in this game as well. Like I said, the Red Wings are starting to get rolling again offensively. They've scored 4 goals or more in 3 of their last 4 games. So I'm on 2 bets here. Detroit as well, -118, and I'm on over 6, -110.
And over 6 at -110. Wow, you got a much better line than I got. Is this moving towards the Islanders? Sorry, I guess I didn't go over the line history here for this one.
No Vig is the book that I used for that. The book is actually called No Vig, Novig. And that explains why it's -118 there. You get
it is down to -123 though in books with Vig. So it is moving towards the Islanders.
I'm an insane man when it comes to how many books I have. Like getting the best price at all costs.
It's crucial.
Yeah,
it's crucial.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable.
20 accounts at 20 books or close to it right now.
It's explainable why this line is moving towards the Islanders. So and it's just slightly moving towards the Islanders. Let's roll on to our next spot on the board. 7 p.m. Eastern. New Jersey Devils 13-5-1, 6-5-0 on the road at the Florida Panthers 10-8-1, 7-2-1 at home, Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida. We obviously felt for Hughes, cutting himself at a team dinner, falling through glass of some kind. They're not really, unless you know the real story, we're not really getting told exactly what the hell happened. And that's only being beaten now by Eetu Luostarinen, who has a barbecue injury. I mean, it's absolutely nuts that this stuff is going on, but it's part of life. So we have 2, well, especially the Hughes, but 2 very key members of each team now out with non-ice injuries. Florida dealing with a bunch of injuries. As you guys know, they've been dealing with it for a long time. Gadjevich, Kulikov, Barkov, no second Kachuk have been out for a long time. So Luostarinen, who's a very important second-line center and penalty killer, is out. Billy Friedrich says Glenn Allen Hill thinks those injuries are funny. That's good. That's nice, Billy. It shows our age a bit. So we have injuries on either side of the fence here. And this is one of the few games I've not moved on. The Devils dealing with a ton of injuries. Well, Pesce, of course, out. We've heard from Billy Friedrich how much of a loss Pesce was from, for the Hurricanes. Cody Glass out. Hughes, as I mentioned, Zach McEwen out. Jonathan Kovacevic is out as well. So that's the situation here. Line history-wise, we have these Devils at +134. The line's gone from -140 to -152 with the Panthers. From a total side of things here, we have, that Glenn Allen Hill is the first time I've smiled in like 24 hours. The under 6 -120. That's where it opens. So it's just sitting there at under 6 -120. These Devils coming off a 5-1 loss at Tampa. 3-game road trip. The first 2 wins were in the extra session, overtime, and a shootout, respectively. Then they lose 5-1 at Tampa on Tuesday. Now they come on home. The Panthers beat the Canucks 8-5 on Monday, so they're in a pretty nice spot. They've rested. That was game 3 of a 5-game homestand. So this is actually the perfect spot. Game 4 of a 5-game homestand. Maybe Bobano can talk me into the Florida Panthers. As Coin saying, Allen and Bob confirmed Jake Allen's looked great, 2.23, 916 save percentage. And Bobrovsky is struggling, 882 save percentage. And Mel says, fade the Leafs in early to midweek home games against non-marquee teams. I'm tempted by Columbus. Bobano's not on Columbus. I am on Columbus. So is Kent Davies. Take it away for us here, Bobano. Devils, Panthers.
Yeah, I'm passing as far as the money line side in this game. You look at Florida. I don't want to lay this price with them with all the injuries. And E2 Cool Mint Lustarinen's a big one. You know, he's got great chemistry with Lundell and Marchand, and with what you're already missing, that's going to hurt. We know New Jersey is certainly riddled right now. So both of these teams really shorthanded, depleted. Of course, no Pesci on the blue line for the Devils. Looks like Dougie Hamilton will play, which is good. He's been banged up. But Cody Glass, and of course the big one being Jack Hughes. Jake Allen, you know, I think he's playing better than Jacob Markstrom. Just conceptually, I'd rather be on the Devils right now with Allen in net as opposed to Markstrom. And by the way, New Jersey has won in Florida in each of their last 3 visits here, believe it or not. They've played well in this building, the New Jersey Devils. So, but they're banged up. Florida's trying to get on a roll, get some momentum going. I do like the draw. In this game, plus 330. Devils, 5 of their last 6 games have gone past regulation, so that's worth a draw bet there all by itself.
All right, Bobano moving on the draw. What was the number?
Plus 330.
You are in business. Bobano on the draw, plus 330. I do have interest now on Florida. The problem is that the Devils just got destroyed 5-1. Florida played a very sloppy hockey game. You know, I don't know if I get there. It's expensive. In fact, I don't know if I'll get there. I'll spend a little more time. I did move on to our next game. St. Louis Blues 6-9 5-3-4-1 on the road at the Philadelphia Flyers 9-6 3 6-3-2 at home. Infinity Mobile Arena, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The only team that I bet more than the Sharks this year is the Philadelphia Flyers. It doesn't take much for me to bet them. I think they're better than the market gives them credit for. I'm on them here, and I think the Blues are a bad hockey team. They've lost 3 straight. 6-5 in a shootout versus these Flyers. That was, last Friday. And, it was a game that the Blues should have won. Urson was absolutely terrible. Binnington, the Flyers got 31 shots on Binnington. But Urson, they got 17 shots. He allowed 5 goals on 17 shots. I thought the Flyers were the much better hockey team. And I'm not sitting here thinking, oh, the Blues have revenge. I mean, Monty could lose his job here, how things have changed so quickly. So there is some revenge on the Blues side. I don't really care. The Blues opened up this road trip with that 3-2 overtime loss that we were speaking about at Toronto. That was on Tuesday. And I don't trust them here. This is I think one of the worst teams in the National Hockey League. They head to New York after this for games against the Islanders and the Rangers and the Devils Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday, respectively. And look, it doesn't take much for me to bet the Philadelphia Flyers, and I moved on them here. This total is a 5.5. It's minus 114 to the under. This total has not moved since it became available. After seeing an 11-goal game, you might think that's a bit of a surprise. The Flyers right now are minus 125. They opened up at minus 120. I got them at minus 122. And look, Vladar is the better goaltender here. It doesn't matter who's in that, Binnington or Hofer. I want to fade it. The Blues penalty killing 27th league, 72.6%. While the Philly power play is not as good as St. Louis's power play, we know St. Louis with Robert Thomas and Kyrou, have options. It's this penalty kill for the Flyers, 3rd in the National Hockey League, that I didn't expect. Take it away for us here, Bobano. Blues Flyers. Oh, and Hofer has been confirmed. Thank you, Coin.
Yes, that's true. Joel Hofer's in net. And by the way, back for the Blues, won't you be? My neighbor, Jake Neighbors, is back for the St. Louis Blues tonight. So that's very big. They've missed him dearly, and that should certainly help. So the Blues outside of, Torrey Krug's not coming back. I think his career might be over. So they're really healthy now, the St. Louis Blues, now that they've got Jake Neighbors back. They're pretty much a fully healthy team, so the excuses are gone. If they're going to try to get back in it and make a run, it's got to start here and now. That being said, I got to see it before I believe it. And you got to think the Flyers are going to play hard and play well tonight. They're off a 5-1 loss to Dallas. They've had several days off. I think it's going to be a very competitive game. Two teams that need the points. The Blues, I think, are going to play hard because they pissed one away against the Flyers just recently in St. Louis. And then you look at the recent history. 3 of the last 4 meetings past regulation. The Blues have gone to past regulation 3 of the last 5 games. Flyers have gone past regulation in 4 of their last 6 games. It's got all the draw flags and indicators for me. So, yeah, draw plus 320.
The draw plus 320 for Ian. That takes us to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Oilers Lightning. Again, we talk about optional misery back in the Habs. It's the same thing with the Edmonton Oilers here. And they've been pretty good on the second half of back-to-backs when they lose the first one. I can understand, Capper's thinking that it's insane to back the Oilers. They opened up at plus 132. They're now plus 141. The only goaltender who's been worse than Skinner is Calvin Pickard. Pickard 2-3-1 with a 4.16 goals against average, 830 save percentage. Vasilevsky 2.64 goals against average, 902 save percentage. He hasn't been spectacular here in this one. Slatsy says the Oilers have gone 11 straight without a regulation win. They do realize they need a goalie, right? They need a lot of things. This is not a very good hockey team right now with the arguably two best players in the world. I'm sure McKinnon and Makar have something to say about that. Edmonton power play, 3rd in the National Hockey League, 30.9%. They're penalty killing better than we're used to, 81.8%. The Lightning have the 5th best penalty kill in the league, 85.7%. Maybe I'm putting too much into Victor Hedman, but when he was put on IR this morning, I said, well, I got to fade them. Eric Cernak out as well. So Hedman and Cernak. Maxwell Crozier out too. Ryan McDonough out. We're taking a lot of defense off of this group. Now, they can still succeed. They're still capable of succeeding. They have, I'm a huge Hagel and Cirelli fan. We haven't even talked about Kucherov. Crozier gone. Nick Paul's been gone all year. Pontus Holmberg gone, which doesn't hurt that much. We have this Oilers on the second half of back-to-back. They lose 7-4 to Washington. They looked like they've looked all year, where you feel like if you have the Oilers ticket, you're sitting there going, oh, I'm live here. My team can score. The problem is they can't keep the puck out of their own net. They've lost 3 of their last 4. Coming off this road trip has been really tough on them. As Slatsy talking about, no regulation wins in sight. This is game 6 of a 7-game trip. If this was the final game of the trip, I still would probably like them because it's not been a very good trip. And McDavid and Draisaitl demand accountability, and that let's get a win and then go home. But I'm fine with this here. Now they're in Florida. It's warm. Try to relax a little bit before they get back to the frigid temperatures of Edmonton, Alberta. The Lightning coming off a very easy 5-1 win. They looked terrible in that 6-2 loss versus Vancouver, but the injuries were a little worse then than they are now. And they leave. They leave tomorrow. They head to Washington, so they go out on a 1-game road trip. Take it away for us here, Bobano. I'm on the Edmonton Oilers. I got plus 147 on them. Floor's yours, my man.
Yeah, I mean, wow. This is I just can't take Edmonton. The back-to-back. It's not just that. It's their 6th game in 9 days. That's insane. What are the schedule makers doing? How do you do that to a hockey team? 6th game in 9 days for the Edmonton Oilers. 6th game of this road trip. And you can see the kind of lapses they're having defensively. And some of these mistakes, they're fatigue mistakes. They're mistakes you make when you're tired and you have no legs. And when you see this schedule, it's no wonder they have no freaking legs. I mean, 6th game in 9 nights is ridiculous. All in travel involved between games as well. That's just been that's as bad as it gets as far as a brutal schedule and a tough schedule, all with travel. Meanwhile, you got Tampa Bay. They're only playing their 5th game in 12 days today. Look at the polar opposite we've got going on here. So just from a pure rest standpoint, Tampa Bay is just, you would think in theory, a much fresher team, certainly a more just a more energetic team possibly taking the ice tonight. Edmonton is just struggling defensively big time. right now. Tampa Bay with the rest advantage. I don't know what we're going to get from Pickard. Pickard's numbers have been brutal this year. Now, I don't want to fault the goalies completely. They do have to play better, both of them. But 0-3, 4.85 goals against average, 821 save percentage for Pickard in his last 3 starts, which is those are not good numbers, obviously. But again, this is a team game. The Edmonton struggles defensively have a lot to do with it. So I like the over in this game for sure. I think there's going to be goals in this one. I do think Edmonton might be able to find the back of the net. Certainly the Lightning are still a little bit depleted on the back end with no Victor Hedman. So over 6, -118 for me.
Bobano on the over 6, -118.
Yep.
You are in business. I'm on the Oilers at +147. Let's move on. Seattle Kraken, Chicago Blackhawks, United Center, Chicago, Illinois. I'm interested in moving on this game. I have yet to do so. Joey Decore going up against Spencer Knight. Spencer Knight's looked very strong thus far. 2.42 goals against average, 925 save percentage. The Kraken have the 30th penalty kill in the National Hockey League. It's pretty ugly, 70.4%. And this Chicago power play is looking quite strong. Connor Bedard looking very, very good. 12th overall, 23.2%. And their penalty killing is 6th in the league. So that is the only thing that has been a bright spot at times for the Kraken is that 17th ranked power play at 20%. Thank you. I'll get Jose will grab that here. I got to stay focused on this, but thank you, Slatty, and thank you, Jose, for changing that. So we have these Seattle Kraken here sitting at -102. They open up -104, so there's barely any movement on the money line in this one. From a total perspective here, we have a 5.5. It's -120 to the over. There's been a 5-cent move towards the over. I do really like Bertuzzi. I love his toughness. I love him in front of the net. Now he is out with an undisclosed injury. It's possible that he comes back, but Bertuzzi, Dickinson, and Foligno are 3 character tough players that I want on my team. Now they can handle them being out. I'm not saying they can't, but I just really like all 3 of those guys, and they're a big reason why everything's changed in Chicago. I know Bedard is the main reason. For Seattle, they've been playing without McCann, who's a very good center. Capo Caco out as well, who I don't know how long he has in the National Hockey League left. Bobano, I did not move on the Chicago Blackhawks, but they've been making a lot of my friends money. They didn't in their last game. 4-2 loss to Detroit, snapped a 2-game winning streak, but they've looked very good at home. Their last 3-game, they are coming off 5-2 win. Excuse me, there's a Kraken that lost 4-2. Blackhawks coming off the 5-2 win at home versus Calgary. They've looked very good at home of late. 2 straight wins there. And the Kraken started this road trip with the loss at Detroit. So that's the situation here. This is game 2 of a 4-game trip, and it's a tricky one. They go to Pittsburgh tomorrow, and they have a back-to-back Friday, Saturday. Take it away for us, Bobano, Kraken, Blackhawks. Saturday, Sunday is the back-to-back. Take it away.
Yeah, I'm on Chicago here. They're undervalued. I mean, they are. They're playing really good hockey. Spencer Knight's probably going to be in net, and he's been awesome. He's been terrific this season. Seattle's got a 3-6 road record. They lost to Detroit 4-2, their first road game of this trip. Chicago lost a game as well in Seattle about 2 weeks ago, 3-1. I thought they outplayed Seattle. They outshot Seattle 30-24. It was one of those games where I thought Joey Decord was very good in net. Chicago missed some chances, but they outplayed Seattle in that game despite losing. I thought they deserved a better fate, so a little bit of a redemption spot for the Blackhawks here. Cheap price. All systems go for me. Chicago -114.
Chicago -114 here for the Blackhawks. And Bertuzzi, we're being told, is going to be in the lineup. That's a big deal. I may join Bobano and Kent on the Blackhawks. I like fading the Kraken. Let's move on to 9 p.m. Eastern. Teams I like to fade. I like to fade the Utah Mammoth. Now they are 5-1-1 at home, so it's a tricky spot to fade them at home. But I've watched them in person. This is a soft, small hockey team. Now Akira Schmid looks terrible. He's still 8-1-2 because of the players in front of him. 899 save percentage. Vejmelka is listed right now. Let us know if Vejmelka will be in. 880 save percentage for Vejmelka. This is a mammoth team. As I said, I just think is quite soft. The Knights aren't playing very good hockey, and I think that they are all business in here tonight. Let's take a look at the line history here for this spot. We have Vegas. This total is a 6 at a pick 'em. I'm looking at a 6.5. It's not a real 6.5. The 6.5 open minus 120 to the under. It's now minus 135 to the under. So it is a 6. From a money line standpoint here, we have. From a money line standpoint here, we have Vegas minus 111. They've gone from dog to favorite. I find that appealing as well. I got in on the Knights at minus 110. And the injury report here for Vegas is fine. Carlson and Stone have been out for a while. Obviously, they're stronger with them. Jeremy Lauzon out. I'd like Aiden Hill to be back. That would help me a great deal. But I'm not concerned fading Utah. Dursey, they're used to him being out, but Dursey and Terrell Goldsmith out, a couple defensemen, and Alexander Kerfoot out. Ian Cameron, take it away.
Yeah, this one's an interesting year. I'm probably going to pass on this. I mean, Utah's not playing well. It'll be Vegas or pass for me in this game. But Utah does play well at home. I just don't like the way they're playing right now, though. Really at both ends of the ice. The offense has been pretty erratic for them, up and down. And like I said, they've just found ways to lose these tight, close games. This is one that almost made the cut for me with the draw. But there were other draws I like more. That's what I lean with here. But yeah, no bet here.
Let's move on to our next spot on the board. The Vancouver Canucks have been playing with a ton of character, battling all these injuries, and still stepping up and playing without their second and third line centermen. And they traded Pius Suter. So no center in the league is taking more faceoffs than Pettersson. Connor Garland, too, is, the straw that stirs the drink. He's battling injury. But they get Hughes back, and Hughes is
Rangers and Avs.
Oh, did I skip? I did skip one. Yes, my bad. I skipped rain, but we'll go back to it.
Rangers Avs is 9 o'clock. So I know.
Yeah, my bad. I skipped it, but let's hammer this one quickly, and we'll get to it quickly. So these Vancouver Canucks with Hughes in the lineup, it's insane. The difference is so wild. This is since November 6th. When Quinn Hughes is on the ice, their shot differential is plus 11. We're talking 14 days. 14 days. Their shot differential is plus 11. When Hughes is not on the ice, their shot differential is minus 109. There is no player that means more to a hockey team in the National Hockey League than Quinn Hughes means to the Vancouver Canucks. And he's back. I don't care. I want to fade them so badly. But look at the injuries to this Dallas Stars hockey team right now. Harley, Lundqvist, Lyubushkin, 3 defensemen out of the lineup. Now, Ernie and Duchesne have been out of the lineup for a while, but you lose. Now, Lundqvist being out for a while, but Harley and Lyubushkin, you lose these guys. And against the Canucks team that's playing with a ton of heart that gets Hughes back, I have to stay off of this game. But I want to fade the Canucks. Now, they flew back on the 18th, and they had the 19th off. If they were playing on the 19th, if it was just 2 days after the trip to Florida, I would fade them, but they did get that day off. And as I said, they're playing with a ton of character. The Stars aren't a very trustworthy group. Line history here, the Canucks are plus 121. They opened up at plus 132, a move towards them, probably predicated on the fact that Hughes is good to go off the injury report. And from a total standpoint, we have a 6.5. It's minus 110 to the under. This opened up at 6, now 6.5. Ian Cameron, take it away.
Best streak in hockey as far as overs right now, Vancouver, 10 straight. So I'm on over 6 here, minus 120 with the Stars and the Canucks. And most of these Canucks games are flying over the total. It's not even it's not even a sweat. I mean, they're scoring enough, and you would think their offense should improve with Quinn Hughes back, but their defensive play is atrocious. I mean, eventually, Adam Foote's going to have to get this under control because they are wretched right now defensively, the Vancouver Canucks, and it's having a big-time issue. I mean, look at the last game against Florida where they got themselves offensively back into the game, and then the defense just falls apart all over again. 2 straight meetings between these teams have gone over. Dallas off a frustrating 3-2 loss to the Islanders. the other night. So, and they've been good the last few games. Dallas has been off a loss. They've been good offensively, and their games have trended over the total. So, yeah, definitely going to keep riding it. Been on these Vancouver overs. We're on it again.
Is Rantanen suspended?
No.
Here? No
suspension.
No suspension. No suspension. This doesn't fit that AM because they're coming off of a loss. And they didn't have the 3-game winning streak here, right? They lost 3 straight. They beat Tampa, and then they lost again. So I'm not sure if that fits it. Does it? Snapped winning streak, bet against the team is winning streak. Oh, bet against. You're betting against the Stars. Sorry, God, I'm tripping. Stars winning streak. Of course it makes sense. Okay, my bad. Okay, Bobano on the over 6 of -120. Rangers, Colorado Avalanche. We missed this one. Shesty, 7-7-2, 2.43 goals against average, 9-11 save percentage. We've been watching JT Miller get called out by all ex-Rangers right now with his lackadaisical play at times. Scotty Wedgwood is listed 11-1-2, 2.17 goals against average, 9-17 save percentage. Rangers are 9-2-1 on the road. As I've said all year, Avalanche haven't lost in regulation at home. This is just, I think it's pretty clear right now, and injuries can change things, but this is the best team in the National Hockey League and is who I expected to be the best team in the National Hockey League. They're winning by margin. They're winning comfortably. This is a team that's won 6 straight. They've won 8 of 9. Their only loss was in overtime at San Jose. This does close a 4-game homestand, so they hit the road. I don't know if it is the absolute perfect spot for them. Facing a Rangers team that's here, being on the road now for just this one. They had that Tampa, Columbus, came back home, played Detroit, then faced Vegas, and are now here. Ian Cameron, this line history here has these Colorado Avalanche. Well, the total 6 is -116 to the over. Has not moved 1 cent. And when we get to the money line, we have these Colorado Avalanche -202. Opened up -195. 7-cent move towards them. I could get there, I guess. It's just expensive. Take it away.
Yeah, this is interesting. I don't want to go against Colorado, but the Rangers have played them pretty tough. If you look at recent meetings, and Rangers coming off, they were right there as far as the game against Vegas, losing 3-2. We'll see how this one plays out. But like I said, it's just, I could see the Rangers giving this game a go. And the one thing I will bet here, I don't know if I have trust in the Rangers to win. I think they're going to be competitive. I don't think this is going to be an easy game for Colorado. But I like this draw. I really like it. Plus 360 on the draw. For these teams have had 6 straight 1-goal games. 6 straight games decided by 1 goal between them. Rangers versus Avs. 6 straight meetings between the two teams decided by 1 goal. And 5 of those 6 games have gone past regulation and cashed the draw. So it's been a very, very tightly contested recent series history. That alone makes the draw worth a shot here.
What's the number?
360.
Plus 360 for Ian Cameron on the draw. Cactus Black looking at Zibanejad for a point. And AM says this is the first 3-system play of the season. Best bet on the board, Rangers money line. And we remember what he said was the best bet on the board yesterday. Best bet on the board was the Calgary Flames, and that cashed easily. Excellent work, AM. So we go to Senators Ducks. We got to be quick here because we do want to hear what Ian has to say about Thursday night football before he gets the rest that he needs. Fighting the good fight, sick and battling to cap with us. We have the Senators Ducks, Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Ullmark versus Mrazek. Mrazek looked a little better in his last start, but he's been awful so far this year. Both goalies have. Ullmark save percentage, and I don't know if these are the goalies that will be in. 874 save percentage for Ullmark, 886 save percentage for Mrazek. The Ottawa penalty kill, second worst in the National Hockey League, 67.9%. And Anaheim's power or penalty kill, terrible as well, 25th at 75.4%. And both teams have pretty strong power plays. Anaheim 15th, 21.4%, while the Senators are 11th at 23.3%. Which all of this would then, second half of a back-to-back here. Are the Ducks going to be a little tired? We did push on the -1 against the Bruins last night, a spot that I thought we were going to comfortably take care of. I also said I was going to back the Ducks on every game of this homestand, but I got cold feet here. The Senators begin their road trip against Anaheim. They've been off since the 15th, so they're a pretty relaxed crew. They believe they know now when Kachuk's coming back from the thumb injury. Shabbat the Bed is still out of the lineup, which does hurt, even though Sanderson is their best defenseman. Line history-wise here, we have the Ducks at plus 110. They opened up at plus 106. They've moved to plus 110, a 4-cent move away from them. And from a total, and this is where I could get talked into, the total is 6.5 minus 122 to the under, plus 106 to the over. It's taken 10 cents of money to the under 6.5. I could have interest getting over the 6. Kent Davies did bet Ottawa. Ronnie Crawford has NHL play today. The Dallas Stars. Take it away. And Steve G saying the Avs are primed in this spot. Bad news for the Rangers. Take it away, Bobano, the Senators Ducks.
Yeah, this is over by Fecta. We'll go with first period and full game over. Anaheim has scored 3 goals or more in all but, I believe, 1 home game. They've been trending first period over, especially at home. Ottawa's, I believe, on an 8-2 run to the first period over, but I like the full game over as well. So over 1.5 minus 120 first period, and over 6 minus 116 for the full game as well. Peter Mrazek in net. He's been a little bit better lately, but I don't know if I fully trust him still, especially with Anaheim. Still gives up some chances. We saw that last night, and Dostal really had to be good. Boston had their looks last night against Anaheim, but Dostal was great. There's a good chance that, to me, Mrazek might have a little bit more difficult time bailing them out. And I also like that Ottawa's coming off starting this road trip and coming off a 1-0 loss, shutout loss to LA. So I think there's some onus to kickstart the offense here and focus on getting the goal scoring production going once again after that loss to LA where they got shut out. So I definitely like the overs here. First period, full game.
You were running with Robert Cherry, our guy Robert Cherry, also on those overs. He's going back to the well with the Ducks money line. There's Matty Ice in the house. We're 10 minutes away from college basketball, Matty Ice, so your timing is impeccable. NHL play today is spreadsheet play day from Ron Crawford is the Dallas Stars. Let's get into the final spot on the board. You know, it's funny. A lot of what I've been saying I expect to happen is happening, and yet I'm having a terrible hockey season. I said that the Kings would go on this road trip and win every single one of them, and then we'd fade them in San Jose. Now, they did lose 2-1 at Washington on Monday. They don't want to fly to San Jose after this trip. They want to fly home. I think this is a very annoying spot that they're not pleased about. They're also going to be home for a while here. They're actually going to be home basically till December 8th. They have one road game in Anaheim, so they're about to be home for a long time. And I don't like the spot. I've been telling you guys that Yaroslav Ask About Me was clearly had talent. And I expected to see it this year, and we're now seeing it. Anton Forsberg is listed for the Kings. I'm not sure if that is official. Let us know. The Kings, 25th ranked power play, 17th ranked penalty killing. They're playing without Doughty. San Jose's power play, 18.8%, ranked 19th. Penalty killing, ranked 22nd. And I just think this is a terrible spot for these Kings. And I bet against them here in a team that I love backing. This total is 6. It's minus 120 to the under. We heard the Goracle moving on the Kings here. This total is not moved at all. And then on the money line for this spot, we have San Jose now plus 158. So it opened up at plus 153 and went down to plus 143. There's been a 10-cent move to the Kings at 8:30 this morning. Ian Cameron, take it away. Sharks, Kings.
Yeah, I'm back on San Jose again. I can't believe we keep getting such great value with them. I know LA's off a loss to Washington, which snapped their win streak on this really good road trip. And the way I see it is this is still a tough spot for LA. Sure, they lost the last game. They're going to want to bounce back and win, but this is still a little stopover in San Jose before you finally get home, and you've been on the road for a long time. I still think this is a tricky spot for the Kings, and I don't trust Anton Forsberg, who's going to get the start here tonight for the Kings. Some games he's been downright awful. Now he's been a little bit better the last couple starts. He did shut out Ottawa the last time he started, but he was motivated for that game, obviously. Former team. He wanted to play well. I still don't fully trust him in net. Askarov's been outstanding. Now, Askarov, I'm kind of worried we haven't had him confirmed yet to be the starter because I'd much prefer him over Nedeljkovic, but I'm going to assume it's him. He's been very good. And regardless, even if it is Nedeljkovic, this price is just too good. And San Jose lost a heartbreaker to LA the last time they played. San Jose dominated LA in that game. I remember the shots being like 43-20 for the Sharks, and they lost 4-3 to the Kings. Such a gut-wrenching loss. They deserved a better fate. So a little revenge spot, too, for the Sharks. The end of a very long road trip. Very vulnerable road favorite, in my opinion, and a very good price once again with San Jose. I took San Jose against Utah. I've been backing them multiple times lately, and we'll take them again at plus 152.
Plus 152. Bobano, we need to get you rested up here. I do want to hear your looks for our Thursday night football. We'll do the full breakdown here shortly, but let's hear your plan. Then I will review all of Bobano's action in NHL as well as Thursday night football. Bills.
Oh, yeah.
Texans.
There's the first period overs. 3 of them I want to add.
Oh,
to
sure.
the card just before we wrap that up.
Yeah, no, take
just
it away.
because of the streaks that are going on. We've got Toronto's on a 6-game over streak. St. Louis is on a 5-game over streak. And Colorado, very strong first period over team. So I'm going to go with Columbus, Toronto, over 1.5, minus 122 first period.
Okay.
That's one. I'm going to go with St. Louis, Philadelphia, over 1.5, minus 104 first period. And Rangers, Avs, we will go with over 1.5, minus 125 first period.
You are in business, my friend, in business. AM joining us with the Sharks here. Hooligan Capper says San Jose plus 150, the gamble of the day. And Alan actually saying market sleeping on the Sharks still make them pay. So let's talk about Thursday night football. We'll do the full breakdown here in a second, but we just want to hear if Bobano, if you're good enough. I know you're fighting through the sickness. Also, one other thing is we have Matty Ice saying if we get a new gold or silver member, he will drop his entire NCAA basketball card here for us. If we can get a new silver or gold member for Pub Sports Radio, which means you get to join us in the Discord. Shout out to Dizzy Donuts in the house. So here we go. Bills, Texans. I'm going to do the full breakdown here, but we need you to get rested up. Do you have a move on this football game?
You know what? The record's good. This is not my favorite look on the Thursday night card by any stretch, based on, comparing it to other bets I've given you on the show for these Thursday night NFL games in the past. But I watched the Bills and Bucks last week, and people are going to get caught up and enamored by the fact Josh Allen looked good. They're piling up points in that game, 44 points against Tampa Bay. Big bounce back win after that no-show against the Miami Dolphins. There's still a lot of real problems with Buffalo right now. The receiving core still got problems. You know, Gabe Davis is being brought back because there's not many people stepping up other than Shakir. You know, Kincaid's been banged up. We'll see if he plays tonight. Obviously, we've got Keon Coleman that was made a healthy scratch because he hasn't been good enough or stepped up to the level the Bills were hoping for. And then, of course, the defense continues to be an issue. Like, they are getting gashed on the run. Sean Tucker, and Rashad White last week for Tampa Bay, that tandem, when obviously they had no Bucky Irving. They just ripped through that Bills team on the ground. Sean Tucker had over 100 yards rushing. So when I look at that, my first thought when I see a team struggling defensively and in particular against the run, and you're laying 6 points on the road on Thursday night football on a short week, that's not exactly the profile I'm excited about as far as backing a team is concerned. Look, Davis Mills is what he is. Obviously he's not C.J. Stroud. They miss C.J. Stroud. But Davis Mills can be a decent, serviceable, capable, keep his team in the football game, backup quarterback. And was it ugly against Tennessee last week? Damn right it was. That was not a good offensive showing for the Texans. But when they had to have it, he moved them down into field goal range. They kicked the game-winning field goal in that game. And the bottom line is, I think the Texans should be able to have some success running the football a little bit against this Bills team and keep Davis Mills, in those manageable down and distance situations where he can be a little bit more effective. There's just too much up and down in Buffalo to trust them as road favorites. And I know this has not been the season Houston envisioned, and they've got injuries of their own too. 5-5 is not what they hoped for, but they are 3-2 at home. They still have a winning home record straight up here in this stadium. And you look at the 2 home losses, a 1-point loss to Tampa Bay on a Monday night football game early in the season, week 2, and then a 3-point loss at home to Denver. And that was the game C.J. Stroud got injured. So the 2 home losses to Denver and Tampa Bay, 2 pretty good teams, by the way, They lost those 2 games by a field goal or less. I'm not trusting Buffalo as road chalk here. Short week, it's difficult, way more difficult to play Thursday night football road games on a short week later in the season, November, December, than it is in September. Why? Because in September, you're more fresh. You don't have as many injuries. The wear and tear of a long physical football season adds up in November and December, and it makes you even more vulnerable playing on a short week on Thursday night football later in the season. So too many points, in my opinion. I'm on Houston here, +6, -110.
+6, -110. I want to ask you, I see just nonstop cappers on the under. We'll go over it here in a second. Troy Torrance, Trill OG play of the day. I just, everywhere I'm looking, it's under. Jerry Davis here on the under 44. This Texans defense without Jalen Petrie in it is not the same defense. And I don't care about what we just saw in a 16-13 victory over the Titans. Titans offense is trash. It's a fast track in Houston. If I think this defense is different, if I think Davis Mills can do something, I'm actually in. I just don't know if I have the Ronnie Crawford captain at 47. I don't know if I have the conviction at this point to go.
I think this is like last week. It's going to be close to the number like Jets Patriots was last week and just falls short. I could see that. I mean, the total's tough for me. It really is in this spot. I was not impressed with Houston's offense last week. I still thought their defense played well, but you have to remember their opponent. Tennessee's offense is not exactly a juggernaut by any stretch of the imagination. The Bills' offense will be a lot tougher. But the thing is, I trust in Houston's defense has been solid all year, pretty much. And they're going to give you a good effort, especially. Let's not forget that Tampa game and the Denver game that they lost at home, probably the 2 best teams they've played at home. They held Tampa to 20. That game stayed under. And the Denver game stayed under as well. And the defense played well against Baker and Bo Nix in those 2 games. So I honestly lean under, but I'm not betting the total, and I don't love unders, as you know.
But you think this defense without Petrie on it? I mean,
that does hurt. Yeah, but is the Bills' receiving core going to take advantage of that? It's big time. Yeah, having a key safety who's a really good player is a big deal, but the Bills' receiving core is in shambles, in my opinion. It really is.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't look good, but still, it's not difficult for Allen to put.
Like if you're going up against a quarterback with a great receiving core, a loaded receiving core, yeah, they could absolutely feast on Petrie's absence. Are the Bills the kind of team that is going to take advantage of that right now?
Because Gardner Johnson was there. He left after week 3. He looked terrible. MJ Stewart replaced him. Petrie, MJ Stewart, Stingley. This was arguably the best secondary in the NFL. Now it's just Stingley. I don't know if I'll have the conviction. We'll see if I go up against everyone. I don't agree with the under at this point, and I am an under better. But I'm a huge Petrie backer, so maybe I'll just Bobano, spectacular work here. Texans +6 for Ian, and what juice?
-110.
-110 for Bobano. Bobano, spectacular work. Thank you for fighting through the sickness. I'll go over all your action right now. The star of the NBA OG show, the Ice Guys, and the Hitting the Books YouTube channel. Tell us about what's going on this week.
Yeah, just the same old college football and basketball hitting the books with Connor Mack, Mondays and Tuesdays, and members-only shows for people that are members of the Hitting the Books YouTube channel. We can't thank you enough. Those have become members of the channel. We do members-only shows Wednesdays and Fridays as well, so make sure you check that out. Hitting the Books, me and Connor Mack. Ice Guys with me and Alex B. Smith, 7 days a week. 2 p.m. Eastern weekdays, noon Eastern weekends. NBA OG Crew betting show with Ski, Dutch, and Wham Monday to Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Thanks to everybody. Good luck tonight, and you, Jimmy, as well. And we'll see you on, I guess, Sunday if I'm back on NFL Pub Up. We'll see you then.
Oh, I'd like that. Yeah, I'll be in touch. Rest up, my man. Fighting the good fight here. Let's review action from Bobano. I'm on the Jackets, and I'm still thinking of adding to it. Bobano on the draw in Columbus, Toronto in the first period over 1.5. I'm on the Montreal Canadiens. AM on the Capitals money line. I'm on the Canadiens. Bobano on the Canadiens and the over 6. It's not comfortable back in the Canadiens with Montembeault and net. I'm on the Detroit Red Wings. So is Bobano. He's on the Wings -118 and the over 6. I have some interest in the Panthers. I don't know if I get there. Bobano on the draw in New Jersey, Florida at plus 330. Bobano on the draw plus 320 in St. Louis, Philadelphia in the first period over 1.5 minus 104. I'm on the Philly Flyers with confidence. I'm on the Oilers. I get it. It's not comfortable. This Lightning team without Cernak and Hedman is a team I'm more comfortable fading, but a rested team versus a tired team, it's tricky. Bobano on the over 6 at minus 118. Bobano on the Blackhawks minus 114 with Kent Davies. I'm interested in joining him. Bobano on the draw plus 360. Rangers Avalanche in the first period over 1.5 minus 125. I'm on the Vegas Golden Knights money line. Bobano stayed off that spot, but he's on the over 6 minus 120 in Dallas, Vancouver. And he is on the first period over 1.5 and the over 6 in Ottawa, Anaheim. I have some interest in joining him on that over 6. Looking forward just to have this market sit there for a while. And we are both on the San Jose Sharks. Bobano on the Texans plus 6. Let's go bring on our next guest. Now, he's here for our college basketball insight and expert analysis. But we haven't done it. And I don't want to spend too much time, maybe 3 or 4 minutes on this football game here because we need him for college basketball. But he is a great NFL capper, top 5 in the NFL cappers contest, as well as delivering the goods in NFL Pub Hub, currently ranked 2nd out of 32 cappers. Please welcome the star of walk-off wagers here on Pub Sports Radio, as well as the Sauce Network, Mr. Morgan Spooner on the show. Spooner, what's happening, my man?
Doing pretty well today, Jimmy. Doing a little mental gymnastics in my head, going through the card. Spent a lot of time looking at games that I'm not going to bet and kind of frustrated with that. But coming off a great day yesterday, I hit every bet in NCAA basketball. The only bet I lost was a NBA parlay I put together live. So feeling really happy about that. Ready to attack the card again. I think we got a lot in front of us, but we can hit on that NFL game. I think we have 2 teams that have bad defenses right now. I think the Bills' run defense is very questionable. I don't know how many points are going to be in this game. I think it's going to be a higher scoring Thursday night football game. Generally, I look towards lower scoring Thursday night football games. But I think the angle I'm going to look to attack in this game is to try to get on the Bills live. I'm going to hope that the Texans can get the ball first and find a way to take advantage of that banged up Bills defense, get down the field and score a touchdown. I would love to get on the Bills at a cheaper number. If you got on the look ahead, I think that's great work. I do think they win this game. I guess you could say you're buying low on the Texans, but you're also buying low on the Bills right now after the way they played the last few weeks. So this would only be a Bills spot for me. I don't like the line where it's at right now. I don't see a ton of value in it, so I'm not going to attack it pregame. But if I can get a number under 3 with the Bills live, I'll probably move on that. And that's just the way I like to attack NFL games. You gotta come up with your script before the game, and if that script doesn't come into play, then I just leave it alone. I think that's fine. I tried to find a way to get on the Texans because with this number ballooning, like if it got to 7, I asked myself, would I take that 7? And I had so much trepidation trying to get behind them. I like buying low in teams, but I just have so many questions on how they're going to score the football and how many points they're actually going to give up. This Bills defense sucks, but the offense does not. And I could see them really putting a bunch of points up on the Texans.
Yeah, I've got to see if I can build the conviction for the over because I do want to get there. But let's discuss a couple things here first. We have Troy on the under 43.5. We also have the Trill OG play of the day. Trill OG play of the day on the under 43.5 from our guy LJ from H-Town.
From down south, where we ride on clouds. From down south, where we ride on clouds.
And I understand why they are, because in this type of a situation, you know, you would expect the home Houston Texans to back up their statistical profile. I just don't see that happening here. I think they're much worse than the statistical profile indicates at this point without Jalen Petrie. And we saw that in the first game without Jalen Petrie. They completely abandoned the defense that had succeeded with them all year. So it was pretty easy to go back to that defense against one of the weakest offenses in the league against the Titans here. So and shout out to Toby Lane. Got that Pacers cash with you yesterday. We also have Troy on new action. Dalton Schultz under 4.5 receptions at -130. Let's just touch on this line history here. Join us for our live stream tonight when we go over everything. Troy and I will get it started, and we'll have a great group of cappers on after it. The Bills come on off of just an electric offensive performance, and the fact that it was Terrell Shavers who led receivers with 4 catches for 90 yards. I mean, we've seen great quarterbacks, Rodgers in Green Bay, Mahomes in Kansas City make average wide receivers look very good, and I think that Josh Allen is more than capable of finding that here with the Bills, especially when I think this secondary that's rated so highly is not as good as it shows. We have Houston right now plus 5.5 at -110. The look ahead was 2.5. It reemerged Sunday night at 4. So while it was at 2.5 before the games went off last week, it moved up to 3.5, reemerged to 4, and then immediately went back to 3.5. Then it got up to 6 and back to 5.5. I as well thought there was a legit chance that Stroud would play this week. He is not playing. Let's take a look at this total here for this one. We're still sitting at 43.5. The look ahead was 43. It got bet up to 44.5, reemerged at 44.5, and has come back to 43.5. Interestingly enough, it did get back up to 44.5 for a cup of coffee on Tuesday, but we're back at 43.5. So we have a 1-point move to the under. 70% of tickets on the under, 65% of cash on the under. Again, the optics here on these standalone games, our unders are hitting. And even when we have a high, opportunity for overs to deliver, it still goes under, like what we saw in that Raiders-Cowboys game. And I think I'm building the conviction here right now, but it's not a comfortable thing to line up against somebody who's hitting 62.2%, up 55 units, and has a 22% ROI. That, of course, is Troy Torrance. So I'm going to sit with this for longer, but I do want to move on it. Troy Torrance says much easier to find open receivers when only 5 people are in coverage. I get that. I just know what this team looks like without Petrie, and again, I'm not trying to poke holes in your cap or anybody on the under.
They're missing 2 safeties right now, aren't they?
Sorry, say that again.
The Houston Texans are missing 2 safeties right now, aren't they?
MJ Stewart and Jalen Petrie. Yeah. It's not the situation they want to be in, and you have to think if you're McDermott that you have to attack them there.
So when you're talking about 2 safeties and 2 of your better defensive players, the way you play defense, like the numbers that we have for Houston throughout the course of the season, I don't think those numbers are really relevant to be applied to this game, because when you take 2 huge pieces like that out of your defense, you're forced to play differently. It will not be the same defense that we've been watching for the first half of the season.
Oh, yeah. I just, you have to, this is a spot where you really have to have conviction. The question is, do I have the conviction? And right now I don't. I'll keep studying it here, but Troy Torrance says the biggest pieces are all in. I think Petrie's more important than Stingley, personally. But but Troy, you are the expert here. I'm the host of Bankroll Blitz. You are the expert, so I don't really want to go up against you. Nasty Nate says, Bills smash. We will see it all unfold tonight on Pub Sports Radio. Spooner, let's move on to college basketball here. This is going to be a lot of fun. The games that you have chosen are games that a bunch of them that I want to attack. And our very first game on tonight's card that you are on, you are not alone. Stacks play of the day joining you on the Memphis Tigers as giant dogs.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Let's roll. Jerry Jones says Bills have the best pass defense. I mean, it's better than I think.
Hey Jimmy,
it should
I
be.
gotta get out of here like at 2 today. So
We'll make sure, but I mean,
Stand
we can't have somebody say Bills have the best pass defense when they're ranked 20th in the National Football League in pass defense, because it is about information. The show will always come down to information. So someone says something in the chat, a capper who's really good that people will respect. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that they're ranked 20th in pass defense. Matty Ice Taint play of the day is in as well. Let's roll here. Sorry, go ahead, move over here. Let's roll, my man. Bahamar Championship. Memphis Tigers 1-2 going up against the Purdue Boilermakers 4-0 on the year. We are in Nassau for this spot, and this was a spot that very much interested me. I was curious if I was going to pull the trigger. We've seen Memphis they look bad versus UNLV, so it's clearly a buy low position. They've lost 2 straight games, but I mean, did Purdue look that good against Alabama? I mean, I know Purdue is a juggernaut, but Memphis 9.5-point favorites. They lose by 12. I mean, if they had have comfortably won that game, would we be sitting here with the line at 10.5 or 11? Jerry Davis says easy cap, a penny as a dog. Memphis. Ronnie Lofton believing in this stack spot. And why wouldn't he? Let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow for the big one here in Nassau. Sidewise here, this is down to a 15. So we are moving towards Memphis. Opened up at 15, though, and it quickly moved to 16.5. So we're just back from where we came from. From a total standpoint here, we have this sitting right now at 159. It's not a 159. I see 157s, 157.5. The 159 is minus 130 to the under. So it's moved 20 cents towards the under. And when we get to the cash flow for our first spot on the board, we have, what the hell is it? Jesus, I'm not seeing it. Why don't we get into the breakdown here, and then I'll see if it pops up. Take it away for us. Robert Franklin joining you on Memphis plus 15. Floor is yours, Spooner.
Yeah, these are 2 pretty good basketball programs. Purdue owns the Big Ten right now. They build this roster every season to beat down Big Ten opponents. Big Ten basketball is pretty slow. It's physical. It's not what you play with Memphis in the AAC. They're used to playing a lot faster in the AAC. I think this is going to be a position where we get a really good chance to buy low on Memphis. They just lost 2 games, and they lost at home versus UNLV, versus a coach that used to coach at Memphis. I think that was a really good spot for UNLV. Memphis looked terrible out there. We look at this roster, and they don't bring back any players from last year. There's 0 starting minutes coming back. The players that he trusts, he doesn't know who they are yet. He's still making those decisions as he goes. And Penny Hardaway, I think most people believe he was a much better player than he will ever be coach. And I think it's hard to back him sometimes, but somebody said it in the chat there. It's easier to back him as a dog. You never want to really back him as a favorite. I think here versus Purdue, this is just too many points. I got Memphis plus 16.5. What did I get for juice? I think 110. Yeah, I got 110 for juice on it. We're selling high on Purdue. They've won 4 straight games. They destroyed Evansville. They beat Oakland. They beat Alabama, and they beat Akron. They beat Akron, which is a team very close in skill competition level to where Memphis is at. And they beat them handily, almost 20 points. So I think this is a spot where the number's not that far off. Purdue opened as shorter favorites than they are now, and it's grown. I think 16.5 is too many points. They're going to play slower basketball. I don't think they're going to find themselves in a spot where they're up 20 points at all in this game. I think this is going to stay around 10 points for the majority of it. And one thing that Memphis can do is bring in some pretty good athletes. The guards on this Purdue team are the best guards in the country. Braden Smith. It's really tough. They have Trey Kaufman-Renn back down low right now. So I'm not saying this Purdue team's a bad team. I'm just saying they're too high in market value right now, and Memphis is too low. That UNLV spot with the old coach from Memphis, it was just a great spot for the dog to win. And now we get in a neutral environment, a Memphis team that Purdue doesn't know what to expect because we look at the roster that they've used for the 3 games. Different players are getting different minutes. So Purdue doesn't really know how to prepare for this game. And Purdue's team, the whole mantra, nothing's changed in years. Memphis knows exactly what to prepare for. So I expect this to be a closer game. Just too many points here.
I mean, it makes sense. And we see the market moving. FanDuel down to a 14.5. So is BetMGM. 72% of the tickets, 73% of the cash on Memphis. Does it concern you, the public nature of the dog at all?
No. I have a ton of respect for the NFL market. The amount of money that comes in the NFL markets is outrageous. You can't do cute stuff. You can't mess around because the books will lose a bunch of money if they do that. I don't make a ton for this NCAA market. I trust my cap. I do glance at the numbers. I always get uncomfortable when you're on one of those spots where you have 90% or a super public spot. But I expect Purdue to take some more money by the end of this. I don't think those splits will be as extreme as they are. There's still plenty of public money to come in on this game yet.
We have 6 games for Spooner, 3 from me. Let's get into our next spot on the board. It's one of my games. Robert Morris Colonials at the Bonnies of St. Bonaventure. We're in Riley Center in New York. And this is also the pig milk play of the day. But pig milk timed this beautifully. This line opened up at 12.5, went down to 10. When it got back up to 10.5, I moved on the Colonials. Now it's back at 12.5. We'll see where it is exactly right now. But the pig milk play today is the Colonials plus 12.5. The Colonials played a road game, went to Iowa, and got beaten badly. What did they do to bounce back? They played Drake as 7.5-point dogs. They won in overtime. They were up 5 at the half. They out-rebounded Drake badly, and they played good basketball. I don't know if the Bonnies are the kind of juggernaut that can just win by double digits whenever they want. We haven't seen them win by double digits, except they're 4-0 this year. Only once against Canisius did they win by double digits. You just watched this Youngstown State team that they just beat by 4 points. You just watched them. You faded them with Toledo last night. So I feel like this was too many points. This total right now is a 147. Opened up at 146.5. So we have a half-point move towards the over. And then when we get to the point spread here for this Robert Morris spot, we're down to a 12. Okay, well, actually, it's not really down to a 12 because this has gone from 10.5 to 11 to 12 here, and it is juice to the Bonnie. So it's a 12.5 everywhere. I timed this very poorly. When we get to the cash flow information, we have none of it. So, you're betting on situation. I'm on the Colonials here. This is one of my games. What did you think of this spot?
I like the other side of this. I think 10 points is where KenPom makes this line. They have this game projected for 80 to 70. I think St. Bonaventure does win by double digits. We look at what Robert Morris has done this season. They went into Iowa. They played Drake's old coach, who's now Iowa's head coach. And they got absolutely destroyed. They followed it up by going to play the current Drake roster. And they got a big win in overtime. And that looks great because everybody thinks Drake's a really great school, great program. Eric Henderson, I do like him. He is a good coach, but he's a couple of years away from having this Drake program back to where it was. And I think Drake's in a down year. So I think that data point that we look at with Robert Morris beating Drake is a little bit of a red herring, in my opinion. I think this Robert Morris team can probably do well in the horizon this year, but I don't think this is a step up in competition to play St. Bonaventure. I think this is a spot where St. Bonaventure just has more talent, more skills. Watching this Robert Morris team, it lists one of the guards at 6'2", but I think he's like 5'11". They have a point guard listed at 5'11". I think he's like 5'9". It's a very short team. St. Bonaventure isn't huge by any means, but they do have some pretty good height. I think athletically, height-wise, I think there's a big separation between these two teams, and maybe it doesn't come out right away, but by the end of this game, I do think this is a 15, 20-point game. I don't love the side you're on here. the one thing you have going for you is Mark Schmidt likes to play slow basketball. He doesn't run high pace, and that's why you don't see a lot of blowouts. That Canisius win by 19 points. Canisius is terrible in comparison to Robert Morris. Robert Morris would beat them by 10 points. So maybe you have a way to backdoor this game, but if everything goes as I see it, I think St. Bonaventure handily wins this. But I don't hate it. You're definitely selling high on St. Bonaventure. They're 4-0 right here. You're getting a Robert Morris team without a lot of data points. So you're betting into the unknown. We're talking about sample sizes of 4 and 5 games. If Kahneman's taught us anything, it's that small sample sizes are very misleading, and we can't make too much out of it. So selling high early in the season, I think, is great. I like that aspect of it. But just the players on the court, I'm much higher on the St. Bonaventure team. I think they have a great squad.
Well, let's roll on to our next spot on the board. This was close. This was almost on my card. I spent time on this game. I came very close to the Brown Bears. You are on the Brown Bears plus 5.5 and minus 115. They're coming off of a home win versus Holy Cross. Holy Cross looks very weak. It was 68-49. First win of the year. They've already traveled once. They played at Boston University. They lost that one by 13. I didn't put too much into the Holy Cross spot, but I probably should have. They opened up as 3.5-point favorites, closed as 2.5-point favorites, and just completely outplayed them from start to finish. We're up 37-21 at halftime. So this was very close to making my card. I don't know how good Stony Brook is. I think that last game against Yale, they were pretty impressive. Yale was 20.5-point favorites, and Stony Brook shot very, very well. I think they cared about that game as well. They were out-rebounded, which I hope happens here. They shot 54% from the field and 48% from three. So is this a spot we want to sell them high? And I imagine that was part of your thinking. And I'm interested. We're down to a 4.5 now. This was a 5 here. BOL moved to 4.5, half-point move. And from a total perspective here, we have this one sitting at just blew past it. Oh, here we go. We have this one at 134.5. So we've had a big move to the under. This opened up at 138, got all the way down to a flat 134 before there was a little bit of a buyback. So that is our situation here. But we're being told by Odds Logic that 94% of the tickets and 89% of the cash. We know that's a very small pool, but 94% of tickets, 89% of cash is on Brown. So it's very public if we're to believe this. 86% of tickets and 89% of cash on the under. Circa still holding the 5, but Caesars and BetMGM moved to 4.5. So has South Point and Hard Rock and ESPN Bet. Spooner, take it away.
Yeah, this is a pretty disgusting market to be on Brown. You mentioned that 94% of the tickets, 89% of the cash. Those weren't numbers that I looked at all when I made this bet. They don't influence my bet here at all. It does make me a little uncomfortable, but such small numbers in these games. When I look at this, I would expect that the other side of this is public. We're looking at a Stony Brook team that just played the best team in the conference in Yale. They played Yale very tough. They were on the road, and now they get to see Brown come into their gym by any data points. So if we're going to look at where Yale is going to finish in the Ivy League versus where Brown's going to finish in the Ivy League this year, it's going to be very far apart. Yale is projected to go 12-2 in conference this season, and Brown is projected to go 5-9 in conference this season. Brown and Dartmouth are going to be the worst two teams in the Ivy, and I think Yale is going to walk away with this conference. So we just saw this team play well against the best team in the conference. Why can't they play well versus the worst team in the conference, especially when we're looking at this Brown team? They lost to Siena, they lost to Vermont, got blown out by BU, who's a bad team. They just lost to Hampton. Wow, they beat Holy Cross, one of the worst teams in the country. Not any sort of reason to really want to get on Brown. I watched this Brown team play Vermont. They played extremely tough in that game. Listening back and forth in the game, they were talking about David Rochester, one of their freshmen that they're excited about this season, and the impact he could be making in the game. And he wasn't on the court. He missed the Siena game, he missed the Vermont game, he missed the BU game, and he missed the Hampton game. But he played at Holy Cross, got on the court for 20 minutes, played some really big minutes in that game, got points. I think he's one of the additions this roster really needs. I don't think it's factored into the number at all. I think this guy's going to be a double-digit scorer for this team throughout the course of the season. And I think he's going to be huge here at Stony Brook. Gives Brown a little bit of extra size that they definitely need. And I just think you're buying really low on a 1-4 team. And then you see Stony Brook's record. They're coming in here at 2-1, but they beat Farmingdale State, or 3-1. They beat Farmingdale State, Maine, St. Joseph's, a D2 school. Like nothing impressive. They played Maine, American East school that is not a good roster. They'll get blown out by tons of teams this season. I just think the data points on the season are misleading to this point, and I think Brown is better than what they've shown us. I think they win this game outright.
It's I'm going to sit with this info here because this almost made my card. Now I was not expecting it to be public, and I imagine that those numbers should change as the info comes in.
The double OT game versus Vermont, Brown was up with 0.3 seconds left at the end of single overtime. I don't think we're looking at a 5.5 or a 4.5. I got Brown plus 5.5. I don't think those numbers would be there if they beat Vermont, because then you would look at a data point of Vermont on one side and Maine on the other side, and you're taking one of the worst teams in the conference and the best teams in the conference, just like we did with Ivy. And this number gets brought back down lower. And I really do believe Brown wins this outright. I hate the fact that I see 94% of the tickets, but hopefully that changes throughout the day. Not a lot of people are betting this game.
I expect that it will change. Hooligan Capper says Stony Brook minus 4.5 is play of the day. Robert Franklin taking Brown money line, and Nasty Nate is also on Brown plus 5. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. This is a Spooner game. Mercyhurst Lakers 3-2, 1-2 on the road at the Miami of Ohio Redhawks, 3-0, 2-0 at home. Mercyhurst, we saw them go to Loyola Chicago and take them out 73-65. It was a game that we've discussed here on the show. Then they lose at Canisius. So, then they come back. It's beating Morgan State 86-72 at home, 6.5 point favorites, taking care of business, shooting the ball very well, playing clean basketball, still losing the turnover battle, which something they're going to have to deal with. Going up against the Miami of Ohio Redhawks, look great to start the year. At home, they take out ODU 87-72. They show they can travel. They're coming off heading to the Air Force Falcons, who look to be really bad this year, but they're 10.5 point favorites. They're up 14 at the break. They're delivering the goods and doing their job. That's what the Miami of Ohio Redhawks have done thus far. Let's take a look at his line history and hand it over to Spooner and hear his breakdown. This totals a 139.5. This opened up at 142. It actually climbed up to 144.5 before this big drop down to 139.5. When we get to the point spread here for this one, we have Miami of Ohio minus 15.5. It's juiced to minus 118. It's more of a 16 or 16.5, although there are some 15.5s out there. So it basically has not moved. And cash flow wise, we're not getting any information. Take it away for us, Spooner. The Mercyhurst Lakers at the Miami of Ohio Redhawks.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where I think in all sports betting, there's always value in just fading the worst teams that play in the sport. And I believe Mercyhurst is one of those teams. Last year was their first year in NCAA Division I basketball. They lost a lot of the players from that team that are a lot of their production. They do bring back some players, but not necessarily starters. They're the shortest team in D1. One thing I don't love about Miami of Ohio's roster is they're not huge, but they're bigger than Mercyhurst. And the way Travis Steele plays basketball is with a lot of pace. And when we talk about minutes continuity, this is the sixth in NCAA basketball, bringing back 61% of their minutes from last season. And almost all their starters are back 4 or 5. This is a really good team. I think this is going to be an absolute blowout start to finish. I think Miami of Ohio never takes their foot off the gas. They just played Air Force on the road in elevation. They won 76-61. I had some questions about how their pace would hold up kind of in that elevation. It held up just fine. Air Force is a better team than Mercyhurst. They're a much bigger team than Mercyhurst. I thought they had some things that actually could have given Miami of Ohio a little bit of issues, and Mercyhurst does not have that. This is just a short number. I think this is a 25-point game by the end of it. There's a huge talent disparity. There's a huge size disparity. One thing I'll give Mercyhurst is they do have a really good coach. Gary Manchiel at the D2 level has done some amazing stuff. And we've seen it so far in this season. They beat Loyola Chicago. Everybody remembers that. That's a big win for them. And I think it makes this number shorter than what it should be. If you lose to Canisius, you can lose to anybody. This team could lose to a D2 school right now. And I think Miami of Ohio wins by 25.
Miami of Ohio Redhawks minus 15.5, minus 110 for Spooner. Next spot on the board, we hit the Ithaca, New York, Newman Arena, home of the Cornell Big Red, who we cashed last Thursday with. We are not doing that today. We are fading Cornell Big Red, and I'm not alone. I did not know that I was not alone, but I'm not alone. Taint play of the day in our chat right now is Colgate plus 4.5. You can get them 5.5. I'm going to do the line history here in a second, but Taint has spoken. Team is, road tested. That was an impressive performance. Remember, on Friday, the Taint play of the day from Matty Ice was Colgate plus 30.5. They lose by 19 at Illinois, and they could have won that first half outright. Then it's easy to get up when you play Illinois, but then you head over to Siena and face them. They were 6.5-point dogs against Siena, and they won outright yet again. They play clean basketball. They shoot the ball well. It's 54% from the field at Siena. And now they play Cornell. So what do you do when you play Cornell? You have to score with them. This is a very, very, very good offense. 87.5 points per game right now. I think that Colgate can score with them. I'm on Colgate Raiders here at plus 4.5. Let's take a quick look at this line history. We're not getting any cash flow information on this one. We have 5. I don't see any 5.5s anywhere, but I do see this 5 juice to minus 120. There are some books that are still hanging the 4.5. This did open up at 4.5. I did see that 4 at one point too. I got the 4.5 as well. From a total standpoint here, we have a 162.5. This opened up at 165, dropped all the way down to 161 before climbing once again. I am on Colgate Raiders plus 4.5 here. What do you and Matty Ice even adding Colgate money line? What are your thoughts here?
I don't know about this game, Jimmy. This is one I struggled with a little bit. I think you have a very misleading data point. We look at Siena, and I think it's the best team in the MAAC this year. They're one of the best lower conference teams, and they just beat Siena on the road. And I think that's a huge win for Colgate. I generally think that sets up for a letdown. I think Colgate just played Siena, who runs a 294th pace of play, and now they go into Cornell, who's top 10 in pace of play in the country. Huge difference. One thing that Colgate did in that Siena game that was really effective and allowed them to win that game was they use a zone. It's something they've done for years. They play like 80% zone when they're on defense. One thing that's important for a zone is to be able to set your zone up. Cornell runs up and down the court so fast. You can't, like in man-to-man, you have your man, you stay with him, you stick with him. In a zone, you're relying on the 4 other people on the court to also be doing their job. And a good zone, we've seen it for years, can shut down some of the best offenses. Syracuse has won so many games doing that over the years. But I don't know how effective that zone can be versus Cornell if they can't set up. And I really like this Colgate team the last few years. They had a 7-footer that was just huge, allowed them to be really good in that Patriot League. He's not there anymore, and maybe that makes them a little faster, but still where they're playing right now is a very slow pace of play, and I think that creates an issue versus a team like Cornell. And Cornell started the season, played 2 tough teams, Kent State, Illinois State, lost both of the games by 3 or 4 possessions. I think getting a couple easy wins versus Lafayette and Army. Army's the worst team in Colgate's division. They just beat them by 13 points. So maybe this number is a little bit big, but I think Cornell runs away with this game. I think the pace is a huge thing for this Colgate team. Did I lose you? I'm not sure what's going on right now. Am I on screen, chat?
I just happened to be back here, man, and I saw what was happening, heard what was happening. There we go. We got Jimmy back. You guys got it.
Yeah, I thought that was you, Frozen Spooner, but it was me. I apologize. Keep rolling.
I like the other side of this. I don't have enough conviction to bet it, though. I do think Colgate has a very good coach, and I think this Cornell team is a team you can fade at certain points this season. At home off 2 wins, you're definitely doing it at a spot the highest time to fade this team. So I like that aspect of it.
I mean, that game against Illinois, I had thought that Siena would be the letdown spot. Do you not feel that way when they got up, played Illinois tough, were in it most of the game? Could have won the first half. I thought that Siena would be the letdown spot. You didn't feel that way? You thought that Siena was a game that meant more to Colgate than playing the mighty Illini?
In a good Colgate year, they beat Northeastern by 5 there. They lost by 3. They won the Drexel game. That was a good win. That Illinois game, I agree. That's huge. It's a huge step up in competition. It's a confidence builder for all your players. And then I think that Siena team was like a big game. We're talking about teams that we're not talking about Power 5 teams here. So you have to go off like who has a good roster this year, who is a good coach. Siena has both of those check marks. So to walk into a low major like that, it's going to be probably around in March in the tournament when they win their conference. Those are huge wins at the end of the season. So I think that Colgate Siena game was very big for Matt Langel and the Colgate roster. Not that this Cornell game isn't, but after winning a big game on the road like that, I just have questions. I wish you luck on it. I'm not betting the other side. I have a lot of questions in it.
Well, let's get into your next spot on the board here. Northeastern Huskies 2-2, undefeated on the road at the Princeton Tigers, 2-3, 2-0 at home. We're in Princeton, New Jersey. Jadwin Gymnasium here. Northeastern coming off a loss at home. So we watched them, defeat Colgate on the road 68-65, then beat up on Harvard 77-60. Then they face the undefeated Catamounts, and Northeastern was 1.5 point favorites, and Northeastern were in control of this game. They were up with how much time left? With 13 minutes left, they're up 8 points. And then Vermont their shooting took over, 55 from the field and 57 from 3. So they're coming off of a loss. So are these Princeton Tigers. The loss to Kansas was a good-looking loss, 76-57. No harm in that. Now, we've been backing Iona, and we know that Iona is probably better than the preseason prognosticators made them. But they went into Iona as 2.5 point dogs, also opened up 4.5, closed 2.5, and got destroyed, got run out of the gym, lost by 20 points. You are backing the Northeastern Huskies to bounce back here in this spot. Line history-wise, we have this total at 145.5. It opened up at 145. That doesn't tell the story because this got up to 152 last night. And then it's come all the way back, which is absolutely nuts. From a side perspective here, we have Northeastern still at that 2.5. I'm looking at a couple threes. The 2.5 for Princeton's minus 118. This did open up at a pick'em. It got up to 3 and back down to 2 at 11 this morning. Now we're sitting at a 2.5. Take it away for us here, Spooner. We have Northeastern Princeton, 72% of tickets, 87% of cash on Princeton.
So this isn't anything really to do with Princeton here for me today. I think they're a decent team. They're coming off a spot versus Iona in a game they probably shouldn't have got blown out, and they lost very handily. On the road, now they're coming back home. A lot of times this is a spot I would look at it off 2 losses, get to play a team that you're much closer to. I think it's probably a good spot to try to get there with Princeton. But then I look at Northeastern and what just happened. Northeastern just played Vermont. You mentioned it. That's a huge game for those 2 coaches. Both of them have been coaching in the Northeast now for 15, 20 years. These coaches know each other very well. Bill Cohen had a lead in the second half that was double digits over a roster that has haunted him for years. He hates Vermont. He wants that win so bad, and they blew that game. They absolutely choked it away. They did a great job of limiting Vermont's point guard in the first half and just really making business hard for Vermont. and they fell apart 2 years ago when they fell apart versus Vermont. They went and played Virginia in the next game. They almost upset them on the road 56-54. Last year, they lost to Vermont. The next game, they won by 22 points. I honestly would take Northeastern versus the Los Angeles Lakers here today. This team is going to be shot out of a cannon. I think this is going to be one of the best basketball games they play all season. I think it's a great spot for them.
Northeastern plus 2.5. Now we are going to skip my next game and go right to Spooner's final game. Then Jose's going to join us, and we're going to cap the Cal Poly Utah Utes spot after this so that we can get Spooner out on time. St. Joseph Hawks at UNLV Rebels. Thomas and Max Center, Las Vegas, Nevada. This almost made my card. So I can't wait to discuss it here, but we don't need to hear my breakdowns. I'll just set up the line history here for this one. This is late night action, 10 p.m. UNLV opening up at -9, now -9.5. From a total standpoint here, we have a UNLV St. Joseph's up to 162.5. This climbed from 157 and got up to 165 at 11 a.m. before there was buyback. Cash-wise here, we have only information on the total, 66% of tickets, 76% of cash on the over. The Superbook has moved this to 10, as has Caesars, as has South Point. The rest are at 9.5. Take it away, Spooner.
This is a market we're playing. We're not picking winners. We're not picking losers. It's a market, just like the stock market. There's no secrets. You buy low, you sell high, and you do well. We look at this St. Joseph's team. They just lost to Penn, ranked 262 by Ken Pom by 9 points on the road. Terrible performance. Looked awful. Got destroyed by Virginia Tech. They beat Lafayette to start the season. Lafayette's horrible. They got a good win versus Drexel. That's a data point I like for this team. They're coming in to play UNLV, who's ranked 102nd in the country on Ken Pom. This team just beat Memphis. A huge win for UNLV. The biggest win of Josh Pastner's career here at UNLV. This is a huge letdown. Now they play St. Joe's. They're at home. This seems like a spot where you're actually going to destroy the lower ranked team. This is too many points. I got 11 on Caesars. It's back down to 9.5. I think this is a 2-possession game at most. This finishes 5-6 points. I think St. Joe's is very live in this game. I really like their coach. I'm not in love with their roster this season, but just like I said, it's a really good buy low spot on this team. I think UNLV is not a team we should be backing as a double-digit favorite almost ever. And sure, they blew out Chattanooga. They had that huge win versus Memphis. But I think throughout the course of the season, when we see Josh Pastner and this UNLV roster as double-digit favorites, I think we should stop. I think this team might be decent this year. They might get some big wins, but I was just never – Georgia Tech was a bad team for a long time, and I just don't think that's a good spot.
You are in business here. I'm going to review all your action here in a second, but thank you for rocking with us, Spooner. St. Joseph's plus 11 at -110, the final spot on this card. There is Spooner's X handle. Hit that link. Support our guy, Spoons. He puts all his action out on X. He rocks with us here on Thursdays. When are you going to be on the Sauce Network next?
I should be on tonight. I've fallen asleep early the last couple nights. I've still been a little bit under the weather, and I went to that Toledo game last night, so I was out of it by the time. I'll be on tonight for tomorrow's card, I believe, and I'll definitely be on Sunday for the NFL breakdowns. We're second in the NFL contest right now and second on your show, but that comes with a huge asterisk. I'm like second by 5 miles behind Bobano. That man is destroying NFL. Only one I know doing it as well as Troy. So shout out to everybody that's killing all these sports. You're encouraging to all of us. Go get that cash today, Jim. It's gonna be a good day.
I love it. There he is, Mr. Morgan Spooner. Just before we do the review of all action here in college basketball, we have one more game left on the card, and the producer of this very show, the backbone of Pub Sports Radio, a man you will meet from March 26th to March 30th. If you come to Pubapalooza 5, please welcome our friend Jose Bouquet to the show.
Remember,
Jose, how are
though,
you?
the expectations for meeting, like, keep them low, because I'm the most disappointing person to meet at Pubapalooza. Everyone is exactly what you expect them to be, and then you meet me, and you're like, could have been better. Thought he had more energy. Thought he was more talkative.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to see you, Jose. I'm looking forward to see you. Let's rock, my friend. Can you set me up for our last game on the card? The Cal Poly Mustangs of the Utah Utes, John M. Huntsman Center in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yeah, Jimmy. I mean, sure you have ticket prices. How much to get into that bitch right now?
Oh, Utah Utes against Cal Poly, $12. I'm guessing.
Okay, all right.
I'm
Some
guessing.
reasonable price.
I don't know.
There.
What do you know?
No, I thought you had him.
No, I couldn't give a fuck. That's not part of my cap, man.
Oh man, it should be. It should be $40 to get into Indiana State last night. You know why? Because they knew they were gonna fucking win. God damn it! Shout out to them. No shout out to Samford, who got destroyed. 1-1, we'll take it, but not too bad at all here. But let's talk about this game, an interesting game when it comes to the college basketball universe here. By the way, Jimmy, the people asked, got to give them the answer. $5? $5 to get
Cal
into
Poly,
this
man.
game. Utah, a football school officially, a football school. Now let's talk about this game here. Line opens up at 12.5 here, seeing 13 as well on the board now, but 12.5 still available. BOL right now at 13. Currently, we have 50% of the bets each way on the side, 70% of the money on the mighty Utah Utes here. The Utes, by the way, an interesting squad because you figure everyone's excited about the football season. So I wonder how many people will actually be at this game. So I'm interested to hear your take about it, Jimmy. What do you think?
I think that this Utah Utes team is the worst undefeated basketball team in Power 4 basketball.
I kind of figured you were going this way.
I really do. They've done nothing to impress anybody. It's such a all these games have taken place at home. You know, they beat San Jose State by 9. They need overtime to beat Weber State. Now, look, we backed Weber State last night. Weber State's not a bad team. They beat Holy Cross by 17. I mean, Holy Cross is horrific. They didn't cover when they beat Holy Cross. They were 21.5-point favorites. Holy Cross shot 44% from the field against the Utah Utes. They beat Sam Houston State by 6. I mean, they beat PFW, the Mastodons. They were 13.5-point favorites. They beat them by 8. Again, what did PFWs do? They shot 48% from the field. I just think it's such a fraudulent here. It's such just a fraudulent basketball team. Now, you know, Cal Poly's not a good basketball team, but here we have a team that's been on the road, that's faced 3 different teams in Seattle, Colorado State, and Montana. So they've experienced what it's like to go into tough gyms. Look, it's not, if you go into Montana, they pack that place. I mean, yeah, the attendance. I mean, Dahlberg Arena's got fits like 3,000. So it's not like what you get when you go to Huntsman. But Cal Poly is capable of keeping within single digits against the Utah Utes. They shoot the ball well. We know that the Utah Utes don't play defense, so I don't see why Cal Poly can't stay in this basketball game. I figured that people are just going to look at the 5-0 at home, the Utah Utes, and think this is a slam dunk. Now, I got the 12.5. So when I moved on these 3 games, I moved last night around 1:30, 2 in the morning on these games. And when I woke up like, oh God, just to see what the lines were. It's the first thing I thought of. It was like, panic stricken, and nothing had moved. My lines, they hadn't moved, which generally is a good thing. Generally it's a good thing. And then the lines have moved against me. So Colgate, it's been a 0.5-point move against me. Then the Cal Poly is a 0.5-point move against me. And unfortunately, the Colonials is like a 2-point move against me. So but these are all dogs that I'm on. And Wager Tech says Cal Poly 10th strength of schedule in the nation. So look, I just think this is a very fraudulent Utah Utes team. This is not basketball team that we have a vividness bias of winning all their games at home, playing tough defense, a place you don't want to go. And also, this is a team that's played on the road already. So, Matty I says, have you thought about Cal Poly first half as well? I don't. So the number here at 12.5, if this was football, I'd be on them first half and probably not full game. Here, I just don't want to double down on any spots. I'm just keeping everything pretty clean here. It's early in the season, and I have not. I'm 9-11 to start the year, and I've lost 4 by a hook. I've lost 4 bets by a hook. I pushed a bet I thought I was going to win, so the record could look a little better. But it is what it is. It's 9-11, so I'm not sitting here full of confidence. But I do have interest and I have interest in that Cal Poly first half, but again, I'm not going to double down, and I've already moved on the full game.
I'm joining you on Cal Poly 13 minus 110.
I like it. And he likes both of these spots for first half full game. I mean, that gives me that gives me confidence, man. But again, I was hoping this line would move in my direction. Let's do a review here of college basketball action. Before I do, you're going to be moving on Cal Poly plus 13. Is there anything else you're moving on in college basketball?
No.
Oh, okay. This is action here. We have Spooner on Memphis plus 16.5 at minus 110. And that is also Stacks play today. I am on Robert Morris plus 10.5 minus 110. I got a terrible spot. By the way, the spreadsheet play of the day, if you're listening on headphones, you might want to turn it down. The spreadsheet play of the day is in. And the spreadsheet play of the day is Pittsburgh. The Pitt Panthers is sweet. Sweet. Spreadsheet. There we go. This is just for me. It's like when it's been a mid show and you need a boost and you think, what could give me that boost? How about 40 seniors?
Jolt in the ass.
Dressed in next to nothing. They're partying. You know who else parties? She does, Jose. She fucking parties, man. Back here, we have Spooner on Brown plus 5.5 minus 115. I'm going to go over all these spots once again because Brown was something that a spot that did appeal to me. Spooner's also on Miami of Ohio minus 15.5. I'm on Colgate plus 4.5. None of these spots were vouched for by Spooner. He feels like he's very concerned about my evening.
He's not a yes man. That's what's nice about Spoons, I guess.
Yeah, you don't need that, right? Northeastern plus 2.5 is also a Spooner spot. Then I'm on Cal Poly plus 12.5. And then that St. Joseph's plus 11, I've got asterisks beside it. I like the idea of selling UNLV. The question is, do we want to sell UNLV? Do we get concerned that UNLV will get their shit together in the second half? Would that be a St. Joseph's Hawks first half spot? It might be, but then am I getting too cute with it? I don't know. We'll see. That is our college basketball here for Thursday, November 20th. Gooey McDougal gave out Incarnate Word money line with the Bills money line. Incarnate Word doing their thing here. It's time to get into college football, though. Jose Bouquet here. Yes. Well, they weren't two blondes in Final Destination 3. It was just talking about Chantel. There's just one blonde here.
Show me them titties. A classic Frankie Cheeks line.
Those were good days, man. Those were good days. But they're good days coming because Pubapalooza dates have been announced. March 26th, March 30th. I'll be getting in on Wednesday night. And, it's the greatest weekend of the year. Nothing compares.
Yep. As always, I'll be worried about you Thursday and Friday morning.
Yeah.
But it should be fun.
I think I should probably try to drink less.
That's what you say every year, but I don't know if it happens.
But what I need to do is eat more in the morning. That's when I get in to San Antonio. The first thing I got to do is go to Subway, get 2 foot-long subs, just so that when I wake up in the morning, I can hammer a foot-long sub and then just start boozing.
Yeah,
That's-
something like that. It's maybe some breakfast tacos for Jimmy. We can introduce you to that. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm pumped up, man. So it's just I'm envisioning it right now, and I cannot fucking wait.
I'll tell you what, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I'll have 2 steaks coming my way from our next guest at Palooza, so I can't wait.
Let's do it. Let's bring him on right now. I'm not sure who he. Oh, I guess the foot-long subs. I guess that was. We'll have to find out what was unbelievably gay. We're gonna find out right now. We also have the Cappers contest live right now. Cappers contest week 12 live. We're all chasing MMA Mad Hatter. Spooner in second. I'm right there. I'm so close. I'm with
you know what's sad about this year's Cappers contest? You haven't said my name one fucking time this year.
Yeah.
Fucking mediocre. Disgusting. Fucking, but that is what it is. Let's go have it here, gents. I can't wait to see what our next guest has in store for us.
I'm excited too. Please welcome the star of Medicate Mondays and the tailgate. Nuke, it is week 2 of March Madness. So it's not perfect, but it's just what we had to do. It is week 2. It's week 16, Elite 8. Please welcome our guy, the Magic Man, currently 6-2 in college basketball, but now we're talking college football. Daby Cab, how are you, my man?
Man, Elite 8. I mean, this is what I was saying yesterday. We got these big college basketball games. It feels like a look into the tournament, man. Arizona sure looks good, so shout out to them, but I can't wait for Pubcoin, man. And
I need it.
I mean, drink less and pound a foot long in the morning, Jimmy. What part of that do you need me to explain?
I guess nothing. I guess nothing. I hear what you're saying. It probably maybe wasn't my best moment, but I do need to not be as inebriated as I've been. It's been now I don't leave the bar, so I never get in any, dangerous situations. I'm just sitting there, gambling with you guys all day and night. But I have about 12, 13 shots during my show.
Oh, I know. I sat there and drank 2 bottles of Jameson with you. Well, I remember.
When the show's over,
I think I do.
When the show's over, I'm a fucking mess. And the shows are 7 hours long. But you know what
I want to do more of? I want to be live in the studio more. That's what I want to do more of this year. That's my goal.
Well, we're not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. I tell you that much. We are not going fucking anywhere. We're going to be in that bar. And there's Troy saying I'd never be more salty. It sucks. It sucks. One of the reasons why we were holding off so long to announce the dates was we were trying to figure out how to put it in a spot where Troy could be there.
Man.
It sucks. It sucks. I'm thinking of possibly trying to force Troy to fly in because he's got a wedding. Maybe if we could get him to fly in early, like Tuesday.
Be like a really good friend, Troy. Like a really good friend. If you're not like in the groomsmen, then maybe that wedding isn't that important.
I think it's like a sister-in-law or something like that.
If you would have stopped at sister, I get it.
I think what we need to do, I think we fly in on Tuesday, Troy. I mean, we got to get a couple days with Troy, man. I think we fly in early. I'll talk to Troy, see if I can get him and then he can just fly from San Antonio to the wedding.
There you go.
I'm going to start pitching this to you heavy, Troy. I'll go in early. And Matty I says, if Troy goes, I'll make it work. Right, Daby, you'll come in early. You know what? I could sell this too. I could
3 hours away from me.
Okay, I'm gonna see if we can get Troy to come in early because we can't not have him there. Okay, let's get into college football. We have 2 spots before Billy Brisbane joins us for NBA. We're going to talk about tonight's game, and then we are going to talk about a bet that has been wagered from our guy, Daby Cab, the Magic Man. Let's go. Louisiana Raging Cajuns 4-6, 3-3 in the Sun Belt. At the Arkansas State Red Wolves 5-5, 4-2 in the Sun Belt. We're at Centennial Bank Stadium in Jonesboro, Arkansas. The Raging Cajuns coming off 2 very important victories. And sure, beating Texas State at home, Texas State 1-5 in conference, and beating South Alabama, at South Alabama, it's a little more impressive. They're 2-4 in conference. It's not a lot to, write home about. They took out South Alabama. They were 3.5-point dogs. It was a very, very important win. They were in control from the get-go. They were up 24-7 at the half. They played the good football game, and they put themselves in a position where it's possible that they get a bowl game. But they had to beat Texas State Bobcats last week, and they did exactly that. That was actually 2 weeks ago. They're coming off their bye week, and we saw Texas State, and Jose backed them last week, go up 27-0 in the first half. So maybe the wins, even though they're against lowly competition, are a little better than we've seen. Arkansas State also coming off of a bye. They're coming off their first loss in a while. They were streaking, winning football games, and playing well. They went and played Southern Miss Golden Eagles, 6.5-point dogs, and they look very good. They lose, but they put up 456 yards. It was the turnovers, that got them. I thought there was a lot of look, you turn over the ball 6 times. I mean, it's a problem, but you put up almost 500 yards against the team leading a conference. It's not bad. It's not that bad, and it stopped their winning streak. You would assume that this is a very angry Arkansas State Red Wolf group. Let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow, and hear what Daby Cab thinks of our Thursday night action. Here we go. Let me just move this quickly, and let's get Incarnate Word home for our cappers in the chat. And here we go. We have Arkansas State right now -2.5 at -110. So it has dropped below a very important number. This opened up at -3, went down to 2.5, back up to 3, down to 2.5. We have a half-point move here, a half-point move towards the Raging Cajuns. Then let's take a look at this total from a total perspective here. We have this sitting right now at a 54. It's a 54. Opened up at 54.5, dropped a half point to 54. And then when we get to the cash flow here, sorry, let me move over here as well. My apologies. Get over to today's game. When we get over to the cash flow, we have 53% of the tickets and 83% of the cash on Arkansas State. It's a lot of money on Arkansas State for this to drop a half point. A lot of money. We have 54% of tickets, 76% cash on the over. We go over to Circa. Circa, the initial money was coming in on the Raging Cajuns. That stopped. They now have 52% of tickets and 78% of cash on Arkansas State, and yet they moved it to 2.5 this morning at 9 a.m. Wow. What do you think here? Are the Raging Cajuns the side? Take it away, Daby Cab.
I do like ULL here, and the more I've looked into it, the more I wanted to bet them. I've been playing a lot of props in college football, college basketball. I think that the college prop market is a very untapped market that I'm loving more and more. And I looked at this game and I was looking through all the numbers, and it's usually, before I look to see what the numbers are for the prop, I kind of have an idea of what I want to bet. And first off, this guy's name is fucking hilarious. Lunch Winfield, or however the hell you say it, quarterback for the ULL, but his first name is Lunch. And I mean, maybe you pronounce it different, but it's Lunch, Lunch. I think his rushing prop is very live tonight, and there's no number out there. I can get anybody else's rushing prop. I can get his passing prop. I can get touchdowns. I can get every prop out there in the game. I've been finding that there are times when the books hold certain props back, and I think it's because either they don't know where to put it or they don't want people to bet it. And what they'll do is they'll drop it maybe an hour, 2 hours before the game. If this prop is anything under, I don't know, maybe 52, I'm going to be all over it for Lunch here, the rushing prop for him. He had 49 against Texas State, 45 against South Alabama, but he's had some big breakout games against Troy, 139, USM, 98, Marshall, he had 129. Anything before that, you can't count because he wasn't their guy. He wasn't really a QB1 there. So I just think this is a situation in a game that's, going to be a big game for both teams. I think he's going to get his yards. So I'll be on that. Probably. I need to see the number.
And that's also leading you towards it's senior night here, as Ron Crawford is mentioning. Jay Peasy says my short-term goal to make it to Pub 5.
That's a good goal,
Which begs the question: what are his long-term goals? Because my long-term goal is to make it to Pub 5. I have no short-term goals. Actually, my short-term goal is to win an NHL tonight.
There you go.
There we go. You know what? I just got boosted with a little bit of energy here because Troy says I'd like to make that happen. And you know what? We would have announced the dates a month ago, but we were trying to figure out a way to not have it on the weekend, the weekend air that we're having it on, so that Troy could come. And I can make that happen. This is an easy pitch. Easy pitch here. But what do you think about this market? This market is telling us here that the Raging Cajuns are live. And let's just dive into it a little bit more. The Raging Cajuns just lost to Southern Miss, right? And then Southern Miss, who is, leading the conference, was undefeated in the conference, just got destroyed by Texas State, annihilated by Texas State. And remember, the odds in that were crazy. Nothing made sense. The Texas State Bobcats on the road went from 6.5 to 3.5, and of course they took a huge lead. And why was that? Well, it's because Braxton, their quarterback, not there. So Texas State beat Southern Miss with Liddy. So maybe I guess that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That angle's not going to work. I tried to make it work. It's not going to work. Huh. Okay. Well, the market is telling us that the Raging Cajuns are live. It's hard to not think of it. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, Ron. Yes. I just mean that Southern Miss just lost in egregious fashion to Texas State, but they didn't have, Southern Miss didn't have their starting quarterback. And then with Southern Miss's starting quarterback, Arkansas State lost to Southern Miss. What I was going to say is maybe Southern Miss is just, not that good. But again, it was because Braxton wasn't there, so the whole thing doesn't really make sense. So Ron Crawford, then, can I hear from you guys? Ron Crawford, are you moving? Because this to me is screaming. The ULL blasted Texas State, yes, but last week Texas State went up 27-0 on Southern Miss. But again, Southern Miss didn't have their quarterback. But are you moving on Arkansas State? Is anybody here moving on Arkansas State? I don't see it. And now Wager Tech is saying Louisiana beat Arkansas State 55-19 last year. I'd like to know, is anybody Ron Crawford is on Arkansas State money line. Huh. Feels to me like the market is telling us the Raging Cajuns are live. We'll see if we heed that advice. I'm interested in heeding that advice, but do not want to be going up against our guy, Ronnie Crawford. If you had a free bet right now, if we're sitting at the book, $1,000 I put on the table, I said, go up to the window, make a bet on the side here. You can have half the profit. What would you move on?
ULL.
And why would that be?
Because I'm going to probably take their quarterback's rushing prop, and I don't like betting on the opposite side of my bets.
Matty Ice is on Arkansas State as well. Look, I get why you'd be on Arkansas State. Coming off their first loss, angry group at home. The market is sort of inferring that they don't care that the big dogs are on the Red Wolves. That's all. And so that obviously makes that appealing to me here. Let's move on to a spot you moved on, Daby Cab. 3:30 p.m. Eastern. We have a massive game in Eugene, Oregon. And Matty Ice has them by 7. Look, I get it. The 5-0 against the spread at home. Look, I get it. I get why you guys are doing that. You guys both have to admit that the market doesn't seem to care that much. That's all. And they covered against Southern Miss by a half point. Cover is a cover. Well, if they're 5-0 against the spread at home, why would they be hanging a 2.5 here? The whole thing is very suspect. It's extremely suspect. That's all. Trojans Ducks here, Eugene, Oregon. So you guys broke this game down on Tuesday, and it's a big one. It's a massive one here. Every time Oregon plays a weak opponent, they show their class and they dominate. Every time they play a tough opponent, I question whether they should be in the college football playoffs. They play a weak opponent. I think this is a top 5 team. It's just Now they have a tough opponent in the Trojans. If we use, Iowa's just a tough football team. They played both of these teams very, very, very tough. Now Oregon has back-to-back games at home. Look, Minnesota is a cupcake. Oregon dominated that game from start to finish. Minnesota couldn't get stops. USC coming off a tough opponent here. We know that this is a player prop market that Daby Cab is attacking here. Let's take a look at this line history and the cash flow and see what moves Daby's making. This total is a 59.5. Opened up 59.5, got it to 60.5, down to 60, and back to 59.5. From a point spread scenario here, we have these Oregon Ducks right now at home -10 and -110. Obviously, that's the sign of a team that will definitely be in the college football playoff. I didn't mean any disrespect, but when you watch them play good teams, they don't necessarily stand out. When they play a bad team, they look dominant. 10-point favorites, and this line is not moving. Daby Cab, hit us with your plan in the player prop market, and I'll bring up the cash flow in a second.
Yeah, and I also went ahead and moved on Oregon at +10. When we broke it down on Tuesday, I said that I was going to wait because I thought that it would move to 10, maybe 10.5. And I think it still might go to 10.5. And I know that it's weird to want to bet something thinking the market's going to move against me, but it did exactly what I thought it would do. And I'd rather have a 10 than a 9.5. So I got Oregon +10 official. Or excuse me, USC +10 official. My thing with Oregon is, their defense can play, but they're the same as UFC. These are two very, very high-powered offenses that leave their defense on the field for long stretches, long periods of time, because their offense can go out there and score in, 5 plays and go 80 yards or something like that. Both teams do that on a consistent basis. And I think this is going to be an absolute shootout. So I do like the over, but I haven't got to the over there because I've got 2 bets that I love. USC obviously +10, but I like King Miller over 72.5 rushing yards, probably more than any other bet on the card this weekend. Even against Iowa last week, he would have got over that total. He had 83 yards against Iowa last week. You can go back, Northwestern 127, Nebraska 129. What Riley Lincoln's going to do is he's going to, design plays that are going to get him outside of the front 7. And anytime you can get King Miller on the edges, he's fast enough to, rip off 30, 40 yards. He has multiple runs over 30 yards this season. Hell, he's got multiple over 40. And I think that 72.5 is just a gift. Regardless of who wins, covers, any of that, I think this rushing prop is a smash spot.
King Miller, 30-30 out there. Yeah, so were you surprised when you saw the 10?
No, I'd said on Tuesday, if you go back and listen to the breakdown, that I'm the only reason I'm not making it official is because I was going to wait for a 10 or a 10.5. So I got the 10 today, and since we were talking about it, I went ahead and bet it and decided to go ahead and make it official.
It's interesting that the offshores are all hanging 10s, and then all the legal American books are hanging 9.5s. I haven't quantified that at all. I'm very curious as a comparable. I'm heavy on the unders in Chiefs Colts. I'm on the first half under 25.5 and the full game under 51.5, or it might be a flat 51. I have to double check, but the offshores all have it at 49, and you go to the legal books, you can still get a 50.5 or a 51. And then we have to decipher who we think is sharper. And I still think the offshores are sharper than these public legal books.
Well, anybody who is betting, Oregon, if you're betting Oregon, you got to like the over. I mean, I like the over regardless of which side you take. But if you think they're going to cover, 10 points, I got to imagine you got to think this game's going over. So I think maybe the sharp sides would be USC and under here, but who knows? I don't care what's sharp. I just want to win my bet.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. We have Daby Cab on USC +10, King Miller 30-30 on the over 72.5 rush yards. Daby Cab, is there anything else that you wanted that you're touching on in college basketball before we move on to NBA?
Man, I looked at today's card, and there's a chance that I could possibly, I'm not going to get there with Memphis. I know you guys talked about it. I'm somebody who loves to back Memphis in the right situation the last few years. And I think that's just a massive. I mean, they already covered the double-digit spread that they got earlier this season. Did they cover it by margin? No, they barely covered it, but they covered it nonetheless. Purdue's coming off a big win. I just maybe first half with Memphis. Shit, I might get there with first half with Memphis, Jimmy. But anything else on the board today, I'm just not going to force it. I plan on having another season like we did 2 years ago. So the way to do that is for me to, really like what I bet.
Yes, 2 years ago, 60% against the spread, and you have begun the season at 75% on Peter Loshak and Jimmy the Bag. 6-2 plus 4.1 units, ROI 51.25%. The Magic Man, Daby Cab. Excellent work, Daby. Thank you for jumping on for college football. And it is time to go back to the hardwood in the NBA. Daby Cab on USC plus 10, King Miller over 72.5 rush yards. Troy Twine says, what was the total volume? I will bring it up right now. I'll bring it up right now. I, of course, have all these spreadsheets, so I will bring it up right now.
Good. And because I'm kind of on a time crunch, but I love you guys, Jimmy, everybody in the chat. And also, Troy, I keep I'm 13-5 right now. I know on the show I'm 6-2, but 13-5 is my full season record for college basketball. So I got you if you ever want to know that as well. Thanks, Jimmy. Love you guys. And tomorrow, let's make some more money.
Let's make some more money. Daby Cab here. Let me pull these up here. We are about to get into the NBA here. About to get into the NBA. That's why I wouldn't find it, because I put Daby instead of Cab here. It is time to get into the NBA. We have Brizzy joining us here shortly. Let me get the NCAA 2023-2024. Daby Cab on 2023-24 went 52 wins and 32 losses, plus 17.16 units with an ROI plus 20.43%. That's what he did 2 years ago, 2023-24 NCAA basketball. Right there. So there we go. All right, it is time to get into NBA. Billy Brisbane is going to be joining us here shortly. And thank you guys for rocking with us. Another winning day yesterday in NBA, 3-2. It's not good enough. Yes, TJ's had back-to-back 60% seasons in baseball. And Troy, I should probably set that Hall of Fame up, because of 60% season. I should have that up. I probably, when I get some time, can put that together. Because the first person that almost got there was Dutch in NBA, and then Durrell was almost there too. Dutch and Durrell were almost there. So if you hit 60% in NFL this year, which you're at 62.2%, you would then join the group. Join the group, man. Yes, you want the same amount. I mean, I should probably do this, another time. But we are waiting a second here for Brizzy. Let's get to the back now. Last year's volume for TJ was shorter than this year's volume here. So this year, the volume for TJ's 60% is right around the same ROI, 19.58%. Is 72 bets. 72 bets. So obviously the 263 that you've made in NFL, that is unprecedented. Let's get to work. Jose Bouquet, I was supposed to give Brizzy a warning, which I did not. Maybe if you want to come in and set up these games, you can, but no pressure. Let's roll. 7 p.m. Eastern, we have the LA Clippers, 4-10, 1-5 on the road at the Orlando Magic, 8-7, 5-3 at home. We're at the Kia Center in Orlando, Florida, as the struggling Clippers continue this season-long 7-game road trip. We have our special guest here, our star of Thursday shows, ready to rock. So without further ado, he's from parts unknown. We don't know where our guy Billy Brisbane is right now, but let's bring him on to the show. Without further ado, please welcome Billy Brisbane to the festivities. Brizzy, what's good, man? How are you?
Doing good, man. Blind as a bat, so work with the eyesight, but it's all in the head. That's where the money is made, is in the head here. I'm excited for this NBA slate. It's a small card. I got a couple of bets. I'm keeping it small and short for the NBA card today. And I do have a college football play.
Okay, dope. Well, we'll get into that at the end here. On tonight's game or on this weekend's game?
Tonight's game that we'll be on the live stream for tonight. We'll tease it a little bit, but let's get to the NBA.
Let's get to Clippers Magic here. We're at the Kia Center in Orlando, Florida. These Clippers playing bad and playing slow. Shooting the ball well, though. It's just everything else is what they're not doing. 29th fastest pace, 96.67 possessions a game. Shooting 47.3 from the field and 35.9 from three. When we get to the 20-game mark, I'll start going in either 5 or 10-game stanzas. I'm not entirely sure what I'll do, but this is still year-long stats. We're about to be finished with them. Orlando playing at the 22nd fastest pace, 100.54 possessions a game. That's 22nd in the NBA, 47.1 from the field, and 33.3 from three. They are shooting the ball quite a bit better. Let's get into the line history here for our first spot on the board. The Orlando Magic opened up -4.5, went to 5, and then went to -5.5, a 1-point move towards the Orlando Magic. And from a total standpoint, we are dropping 218.5. We opened up at 220, and now we're at 218.5. Cash-wise, we have 66% of tickets and 84% of cash on the Orlando Magic. Circa Cares, they opened this up at 6 at 9:55 p.m. That's a pretty big number to open it up. We saw the other books that came out early open it up at 4.5, so they haven't moved it, but none of the other books are at 6 except for South Point. South Point opened up at 5.5 at 11:20 last night, and 11:11 this morning moved it to 6, 1-point move there.
That's a little bit nervous, though, because you know how South Point be moving. South Point has to be one of the only sports books that actually does YouTube shows and stuff like that, and you can listen to their odds makers of how they get to the line. They always try to, create the best line in Vegas for people to come in there.
And that is sitting at a 6 right now if you want to back these Clippers. Stacks play today is number 2 is on the LA Clippers. So we have Stacks play of the day number 2. And it is your LA Clippers.
Stacks, 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 stacks. Stacks, 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 stacks.
Dutch boy fresh in the house, the hottest capper in NBA, rocking with us here in the chat. Of course, Kawhi Leonard out for these Clippers. That starting lineup, Harden, Dunn, Kobe Sanders, John Collins, and Ivica Zubac. Then we have for the Magic, Banchero and Mo Wagner. Banchero out now. Mo Wagner being out all year. So it is Suggs, Bane, Wagner, Franz, De Silva, and Wendell Carter here. So the Clippers are in Orlando, just two teams moving in completely different directions. The Clippers have lost 8 of their last 9. This 7-game road trip began at Dallas on Friday with a double overtime victory, 133-127. That stopped a 6-game losing streak. But they've lost the last 2. They lost in Boston and Philadelphia, 121-118 against the Celtics on Sunday, 110-108 against the Sixers on Monday. So that's 4 one-possession games they've lost this season. They just can't be trusted to play defense in the toughest moments. Bradley Beal, of course, gone with hip surgery. Kawhi Leonard got off to a great start this year. He's missed the last 8 games with an ankle and foot injury. He was averaging 24.1 through the first 6, but is there any surprise that he is not around? And James Harden is stepping up. I mean, look, 26.2 points, 8.7 assists, 6.3 boards, shooting 43.6 from the floor and 37.6 from 3. He is averaging 3.6 threes made per game. He just hit 28,000 points.
Yeah,
that
but
loss.
I wouldn't even pay attention to the stats. Look how many minutes James Harden's playing. He played a career high minutes last week. I mean, he played 37 minutes on both nights of the back-to-back. There's no way James Harden could play this amount of many minutes across this short amount of time for a long period of time.
Oh yeah, I think that's very fair, but I do respect that he has stepped up. I think that is something that we question his character at times, and he's stepping up.
100%.
The Magic coming off the 121-113 victory at home over Golden State on Tuesday, bouncing back from the overtime loss at Houston on Sunday. I don't know if that is a bounce back. They played well in both games, and we've seen Desmond Bane step up with the absence of Paolo Banchero, 23 points and 5 steals. Also, Anthony Black, 21 points off the bench. Wagner coming off a terrible game, but he's been playing fine, averaging 22.8 points per game. So Banchero is now in non-contract drills, so it won't be too long before he's back. Jalen Suggs was questionable against Golden State with the groin injury. 13 points, 8 assists, 5 boards, and 2 steals here. And what Brizzy had been talking about this year was the difference of this Orlando's offense with Bane on it. Last year, they're averaging 105.4 points per game. This year, they're averaging 115.9 points per game. Take it away, Brizzy. Game 1 of 4 here. Clippers Magic.
Yeah, this one's probably an unpopular pick, but I got to go with the Magic here. I mean, after a rough start to the season, it kind of feels like they've been putting together some chemistry and more encouraging results. 7-3 last 10. They've been kind of paying the well for me. That was my best bet on Tuesday as well. Even without Paolo in the lineup, their wing depth has been able to kind of push them through. If you watch that Golden State game, like we saw a guy like Jonathan Isaac, maybe not a name that's popular to like the public or something like that, but if Jonathan Isaac didn't have like health problems and stuff like that, Jonathan Isaac was like a bona fide almost superstar. I mean, Clippers' 4th game of a 7-game road trip where they just keep on losing bodies game by game. Harden's been playing well, but so are the minutes trending up. Last week he played a career high in minutes, played 37 minutes on a back-to-back that concluded in Philly. Orlando has different looks that they can throw at him. Not my favorite spot to lay the points with the Magic here, but I mean, if you saw their last game, all 5 starters scored in double digits, even with Wagner having a slower, colder type of game. And Anthony Black coming off the bench with a 21-point performance, 5-3 straight up at home. Clippers on the road are just a fade spot for me, 1-7 on the road. Their mediocre basketball is not something that I'm looking to back right now. I like the Magic here. Kind of unpopular pick because Paolo's out of the lineup and you're laying points with them. You're not getting plus money on the Orlando Magic anymore like you have been in the last week. But I took the Orlando Magic at 3.5 on the opener at FanDuel before I went to sleep last night. So like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then I woke up, line was 4.5. Then I woke up again early today, and that line was 5.5. The money line was kind of, I was paying attention more to the money line than the actual spread. The money line of this game opened up at minus 190, got up to as high as 225. Then it came back down to 210 last time I checked it at like maybe 8 or 9 o'clock this morning. It was at 210. I've looked at other markets, but I didn't re-look at this market since around like probably about 3.5, 4 hours. There wasn't any real injury news to really follow in this market. I like the Orlando Magic here. I'm going to endorse the minus 5.5. I know nobody wants to lay the chalk with the Magic, but I think the Magic get the dub here.
Magic here at a very, very legit price.
Player prop wise, I like a Vicia Zubac double-double. That's at minus 150. I didn't fire off a bunch of double-doubles yet, but there's a couple of player props in this card that stood out. And matchup-wise, I feel like the only real advantage that the Clippers have is down low. I mean, Vicia Zubac should definitely eat in this spot against Wendell Carter. I think he's bona fide double-double here. Probably rebounds. I would be a little bit concerned about the scoring numbers, but he should definitely go over 10 rebounds.
The Clippers had a couple days off after the back-to-back Boston and the Sixers. In the middle of a long road trip that is probably nice here. So they start on Friday, Sunday, Monday. So that was tough. I mean, you're playing 3 games in 4 nights. Then you get Tuesday off. Well, Tuesday you fly to Orlando. You get Wednesday completely off. Thursday game day. And then so they do have a rest advantage, but certainly moving in the wrong direction here. So we have Dutchy also saying Zubac rebounds looks appealing here. The official action is the Magic -5.5, -108 available.
Yeah, if you don't mind paying a little bit of juice, I would buy it down to 3.5. Man, you know how these NBA games go on these small cards. The Orlando Magic win, but they only win by 5 points.
Is that? Do you want me to look at what the price is if we bang?
No, I'm fine with the 5.5. To be honest with you, the ticket that I have is 3.5, and I'm going to be adding to the position on the money line as this game goes live, because I would imagine this spread so low we'll be able to get a live spread on the Orlando Magic unless they blow them out.
All right, 5.5 -108 here for Brizzy. Londo, I'm starting to like the Blackhawks more and more. I didn't know that Tyler Bertuzzi was going to be back. I'm starting to. I think I probably get there. It's not one of my first 7 bets, but and this is this is the most important day of the year in hockey for me. I need to start moving in the right direction. A sap. Let's move on. Brizzy, 8
Can
p.m.
I catch that 5.5? I saw BetMGM, or not BetMGM, Bet365 had 5.5 at +100. I don't know if that number still exists, but you know, when you're whatever that record is up to the top right, you know, the closing line numbers kind of matter. I was talking to Jose about this last week. I bet a fucking -120, and then 30 minutes later, Embiid ended up getting ruled out, and I could have got +110. So the closing line numbers are going to matter for me here.
Oh, there we go. Thank God it's Sac Kings, not the LA Kings. Thank you, Toby. No, it's not. It's a -5.5, -110 right now.
Damn, all right.
Yeah, but again, if I get -5, -124, and if you want to put anything out on X, you know, you can lock in the price. It's very tough. That's another thing about these guys hitting at 60%, you know, on the shows, and I know you're going to climb up, Brizzy, and you know, I know you are. It's, you know, it's a couple weeks. It's not a season make, or a month. It's not a season make. So,
you know what they say, you got to catch the hot hand. You got to, if the capper's hot, you got to tail him. If the capper's cold, got to fade him.
Yeah, you can provide value in several different ways, but just rocking with us provides value. Let's roll. Kings, Grizzlies, next spot on the board. FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Toby Lane. Londo, we'll get to the Hawk spot here shortly. I thought you meant the Blackhawks. Kings, Grizzlies, FedEx Forum, Memphis, Tennessee. These Kings, 5th fastest pace in the NBA, 103.10 possessions a game, shooting about 46.5 from the field and 36.7 from 3. It's like the Clippers. You know, when your efficiency is at that level, how bad must everything else be? How horrific is your defense? You know, is your defending the perimeter, is your want, if you're going to be shooting that way and be so horrible. I mean, the Grizzlies have an excuse. They're shooting 42.8 from the field and 32.8 from 3 and decimated with injuries. The Kings don't have an excuse for how bad they are. We have here the Grizzlies. Well, Sabonis is out. We know that. But Keegan Murray back in business here for the Kings, which has got to deliver a boost. I'm sure that's Toby Lane's idea. It's not like the star player returning to a team playing well. It's a team desperately in need of a boost, getting back Keegan Murray. For these Grizzlies, we have Pippen out, Ja out, Ty Jerome out, Clark out, and Jackson is doubtful. Now, Edey back, Aldama, and Cedric Howard, who is, you know, and talks about Rookie of the Year all of a sudden with how he is playing.
Shouts to Cedric Howard, man. Been paid, dog. Been paid. His points prop has been. I got hooked once, but it's been paying.
He looks very good out there. Williams at the 1 and Jalen Wells at the 2. We've been through this. You know, we've been through this before with the Grizzlies. You know, they seem, if it's Friday night, to step up and deliver, but it's not Friday night. It's crazy how they've been cashing for us on these Friday nights, but that's it. They're coming off the 111-101 loss on Tuesday at the Spurs. That was a long road trip. They finally returned home. They got swept on the road trip. But, I mean, we're talking about both teams in huge losing streaks. The Kings.
I mean, the Grizzlies had a lead in that game against the Spurs with like a minute and 30 seconds left, and they still lost.
and lost by double digits. Crazy. I mean, they just and the Kings again playing the Thunder tough and looking bad against everybody else. They also they're on the second half of a back-to-back here after that 113-99 loss here. They were in business. I was fortunate to catch the first quarter on the Wizards. I got a basket with 0.1 seconds left. I was very, very, very fortunate. But if I had just taken the Kings first quarter or first half, I had them first half last time or last week against the Timberwolves after the whole Doug Christie talk, and they got the bag there. It's hard to fathom just how bad this basketball team is. So the Grizzlies come in. They've lost 5 straight. They lose at Cleveland on Saturday. And on Saturday, like what Brizzy's talking about, they can't score in the fourth. They score 16 points on Saturday in the fourth quarter of that 108-100 loss. They score 14 points on Tuesday in that 111-101 loss. Ja out with the calf injury. And we talked about Javon Small, Pippen Jr., and Ty Jerome. I mean, where are the guards now? Jaren Jackson Jr., of course, doubtful. He's not going to be in the lineup. Against the Spurs, Jackson went for 18, but didn't score in the fourth. Jackson and Edey combined to go 0 for 9 in the fourth quarter. Good God. But as Brizzy talked about, Cedric Howard, 19 points, 11 boards. And as we talked about with the Kings, Keegan Murray back, returns following left thumb surgery. It was a torn ligament. Fourth year in the NBA, 12.4 points, 6.7 boards last year, 45.1 from the field, and 37.2 from three. Let's take a look at the line history here. Brizzy, we have Memphis -3 at -110. They opened up 2.5. Quickly got up to 3.5. Dropped all the way down to -1.5 right around midnight, around 1 in the morning. Bouncing all over the place. Up to 3, back to 1.5. Books don't know what the hell to do with this one. From a total standpoint here, we have a 238. This one skyrocketed. Opened up at 234.5. Got down to 233. You could have got a 233 at 6:37 this morning. Now we have a 238. Is it a little much here? And then from the cash flow perspective, we have 57% of the tickets and 88% of the cash on the Sacramento Kings, but this line's not moving towards them. 59% of the tickets and 72% cash on the under. It's a little surprising with that many bets, the line's not moving towards them. For instance, over at Circa, you have 57% of the tickets and 88% cash on the Sacramento Kings, and this is a 3. This was a 1.5 at 3:30 in the morning. Brizzy, take it away here. Kings, Grizzlies at FedEx Forum.
Yeah, when it comes to the side, I actually kind of feel like this is a pass spot, but I actually lean towards the Kings here. I'm not surprised that all the money's here on the Kings. They've just been so bad, though. I feel like the new rule that we have to implement is just knocking out those shouts to Wine Time. Wine Time was talking about this last week. I think him and Stacks are on here, and he was saying those 4 to 5 bad teams in the NBA, you just got to cross those. A majority of those games, you got to cross those off the list, and it'll boost your ROI. But you have to feel convicted. There has to be a reason to bet onto a bad team. I wasn't on the show yesterday, but I couldn't have spammed it more in the Twitter chat about the Pacers were the bet, the Pacers were the bet, the Pacers were the bet. You have to be convicted to bet a bad team. And I'm not convicted to bet the Kings here, and that's a bad team. But I think that would be the side. Like, if you put a gun to my head and told me to bet one of these sides for $1,000, I'm taking the Kings. But the thing is, Memphis has played just as bad as them. I mean, if they look better in that primetime game against the Spurs the other night, but down the stretch, though, the lack of having like point guards is just enough for me not to want to back them for a full game, maybe like a first half bet for Memphis or something like that. I actually think the best bet in this whole entire game, just in general, is Zach Edey props, 22.5 points and rebounds, -104. The double-double props, +125. I mean, Zach Edey should absolutely dominate in this matchup. No Sabonis on the court. Sacramento is allowing the 3rd most points in the paint so far this season and the 3rd most rebounds to centers in the NBA this season. And the main thing that I saw from the eye test from the Memphis Grizzlies in that primetime game is how their offense is running. It's running like Zach Edey at Purdue. They're throwing the ball old school style right down to the post, letting Zach Edey draw the double team and either pass it out to the 3 or shoot the shot himself. I think Zach Edey's shot attempts are going to go up. The new coach is endorsing it. I would imagine the front office drafted him in the first round, and they had barely used him last year. They're not really too much fans of Jaren Jackson Jr. like the rest of the public and the rest of the NBA is XR, but I think Zach Edey has a game in this one. I'm looking at his 22.5 points and rebounds or the double-double at plus 125. It's got an odd shot, look around and all that, but Zach Edey will definitely be on the card today.
Yeah, and again, looking forward to whatever you post. I know that you want more information, but you have to think after, really faltering down the stretch here. I mean, Jackson was partly to blame, but they also combined for 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter. I think I've forced the player prop market out of my action, but that really does make sense here. Great to see Peter Loshak joining us in the chat. We're game 2 of 4 NBA games here with Billy Brisbane. And Peter, the dates have been announced for Pubapalooza, March 26th to March 30th, 26th to 30th. And it's going to be heaven. That was I sat on Sunday night after the comedy show with Pete until, 2 or 3 in the morning. And that was the end. I watched him walk off. And you know what was so perfect about it, Billy? Was he wasn't walking off in the direction of his Airbnb. That's
Where is he walking to?
I have no idea. But that's the mysteriousness of Peter Loshak, that he just goes out at 3 in the morning and who knows where the hell he's going.
Shouts to Natalie. She gave me some nuggets when we were down there at Pubapalooza because she was from Sacramento. And she gave me some nuggets about the Kings, meaning they're big fans of Murray out there. Like they have like a whole entire like chant out there in the stands for him and stuff. It's pretty crazy because when you watch it on television, it doesn't seem like Keegan Murray is like that big of a piece to the Kings roster, but to the people in the inside, he's a big piece of that team. I kind of lean towards the Kings here in the full game spread. You would have to give me a free bet to bet this game, honestly.
You know how I feel about this, honestly, is I respect that Toby Lane's on the Kings, focusing on the strength of schedule, all that. But I just feel like this game has got so much volatility that
this is the game that your team is up by 8. You check your sports book and you're like, I'm feeling good about it. Then you check the thing again and you end up losing the ticket and you're like, how did I lose?
Yeah, it's I'm ready to move on to our next spot on the board, but I will be cheering the great Toby Lane on. Philadelphia 76ers 8-6, 3-3 on the road at the Milwaukee Bucks 8-7, 5-3 at home. We're at Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin here. And look at, of course, Big Pete making moves, man. Juventus Cruzeiro under 4.25. Sorry, it took me a second to realize it was soccer. Juventus Cruzeiro under 4.25 minus 147 at the half here. Live action for Peter Loshak. Peter, I cannot wait to see you at Pubapalooza. Brizzy, I can't wait to see you at Pubapalooza. All you guys. It's the greatest weekend of the year. Let's get to work here. The Sixers get Paul George in the lineup. Are expected to have Paul George in the lineup. God damn, is he falling off, man? What?
He doesn't matter that much. I heard you guys talking about the Kelly Oubre thing yesterday, and it's like, I get it. Kelly Oubre's having a better season and all that. Him and Paul George, they're on the injury report. It doesn't fucking matter. As long as Tyrese Maxey's out there, they can go shoot their 5. We can go replace those 5 shots in the corner with Quentin Grimes and Justin Edwards. I don't think it's that big of a drop-off.
That's fine, but I sat back and cashed the Raptors with ease.
I ended up staying off. I thought I was going to get there to the Sixers. Raptors were like the most bet-on team in the state of New Jersey yesterday. I was honestly shocked because how close we are to Philadelphia. I ended up just staying off. I didn't really need it on the card, but I think the Sixers are a bet-on team tonight, and I think we need to start taking advantage of these teams playing on the second halves of back-to-backs, because if the sports books are going to adjust the prices on second halves of back-to-backs, then we need to adjust our caps on the second nights of back-to-backs and start betting the teams that are in the rest disadvantage spot is how I feel about this one.
I'm right there with you. The second half of back-to-backs, I've 180'd. I'm looking to back teams on the second half of back-to-backs, depending on what happened in the game one. I just don't want them to win in a very important situation in a tight game. That's all. That's all we have Oubre, Embiid, and Bona out here for the Sixers. For the Bucks, Prince, Porter, and Antetokounmpo out, and then Harris is questionable. I don't even really need to click on it. I don't care that much, but we can take illness. Questionable with an illness. So let's roll here. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow and hear what Brizzy thinks of this spot. Second to last game on our card, we have a total of 224. Look at this total drop. This one opened up at 230, and we're down to 224. This is a total that we haven't seen buyback on. Usually when there's a 6-point move, at some point we see buyback. I guess it's injury related, but a big move down. The Sixers opening up at -1, now sitting at -1.5. They got up to 2.5 this morning. We have a full point of buyback, but still it's a half-point move towards the Sixers. When we get to the cash flow here for this one, we have 54% of the tickets, 75% of the cash on the Sixers. Circa hanging a 1.5 here. They opened it at 2.5, and they've got 76% of the cash on the Sixers. So that's tricky. 53% tickets on the over, 66% cash on the over, and clearly they're just pointing and laughing. Tariq says Embiid and Paul George were rested for this game. Give me the Sixers. Well, maybe Embiid was rested for this game, but he's out again.
I would not be booking Joel Embiid to be playing any basketball within the foreseeable future.
Yeah, he's so look. It's look at Embiid here. He's missed 5 straight games. He's rehabbing a knee injury, and he just
the same knee that he got the surgery on this past offseason. So that sounds like Joel Embiid ain't playing until about Christmas, New Year's.
Oh, there's no more trusting the process. The process is over, and
there's a process. The process has been over The process was over after James Harden wasn't James Harden.
I think the process was over when Kawhi's shot dangled above.
Don't take me down memory lane. That is top 5 worst nights of my life.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I won't. Sorry. I'm sorry. It was. Let's not. Let's just move on. All right. Let's talk about the Sixers. 99.72 possessions game, 26th in the league, shooting quite well. 46.6 from the field and 38.1 from 3 this year. Bucks 17th fastest pace, shooting 49.6 from the field and 41.5 from 3. And King Al saying that over is now down to 223.5 here. It is. They're using our. I don't know what's going on with YouTube right now, but they're using our addresses for the names here. It's a little twisted, so I don't know who everybody is looking at these names that we've gotten so used to. All right, so let's go. George was limited to 21 minutes on Monday night against the Clippers, 2 of 9 from the field, got 7 boards, 3 assists, and 2 blocks. What the hell has happened to him? So here we get another chance to see him. Oubre is now gone for the month with that sprained ligament in his left knee. The Bucks, of course, not going to have Antetokounmpo strained his groin Monday in a 118-106 loss at Cleveland. No tear. Doc saying it's a couple weeks away. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Sixers, Bucks.
Yeah, we don't bring up NBA power rankings on the show too much because NBA power rankings from night to night really don't matter that much compared to like other sports and stuff like that. But the reason why I bring up the topic of power rankings is because, dude, the Bucks with Giannis on and off the court, it's pretty drastic, man. When you look at the numbers, they're number 1 rated offensive team in the league with him on the court, and they're bottom last in the NBA with him off the court. Granted, you would expect a drop off, but not that big of a drop off, and the drop off is big enough where I think Philly's just a more talented team. And then you throw in the narrative theory or the narrative street of Doc Rivers being the coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, specifically the rookie season of Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey's rookie season is just crazy. His house burnt down in Mount Laurel down here in South Jersey, and it wasn't up until his house burning down where Doc Rivers felt like playing him minutes, and then he doesn't play him in the playoffs up until this is the most legendary shot where Ben Simmons had the ball against the Atlanta Hawks under the rim, and he doesn't shoot the layup, and then we bench Ben Simmons for the rest of the season, and we start Tyrese Maxey, and Tyrese Maxey hates Doc Rivers. Sixers ball out tonight in the spot.
I can jump in now. I guess we're getting some background vocals here. Brizzy, jump in as soon as those vocals.
Yeah, there was like an announcement thing. I think the narrative street is, Maxey's always got that vendetta against Doc Rivers. Yeah, he might say one thing in the media, but deep down inside, he does not like Doc Rivers. I know it was the get up spot last night because it was Nick Nurse against his former team. I mean, he's gotten that moral victory that he needed after getting the swept last season. I think the Sixers are going to come in here to Milwaukee and run these boys off the court tonight. The absence of Oubre isn't as big as I feel like people are trying to make it out to be. I think Philly's just a better team. They don't play again till Sunday, so I get it's the back-to-back, but you don't play again till Sunday. I feel like we can put it out on the line. And then we also had 3 days off before the 3 games and 4 nights, so I think we're going to be ready to go tonight. Philly is if I had top lean of the cards, it would be Philadelphia and Atlanta.
Yeah, I find this again here. It's just we're dealing with so much volatility. If you can write a comfortable script with a Bucks lineup of Rollins, Green, Trent, Kuzma, and Turner, I get it. The same here with the bigs for the Sixers. I mean,
I don't think the bigs for the Sixers is as bad as it's made out to be. It's am I really scared of Miles Turner banging down low? I mean, Dominic Barlow was – remember when Dominic Barlow was stepping in for Wemby and everybody was like, oh, Dominic Barlow. Now he's on the Sixers as our backup power forward. I get it. It's not the ideal situation, but I think we can Band-Aid this up for one night. As long as Tyrese Maxey's putting the ball in the back of the basket, I don't got Ryan Hollins coming down the other end and putting the ball in the back of the basket at the same exact rate as Tyrese Maxey.
No, Maxey's the best player on the floor. I see you guys talking about moving on to 224.5 and the 224. I caution you. I think that you need to have a separate spreadsheet for when you're moving on a line that's moved 6 points or over 4 points. I used to do it for over 2.5 points. That's why I stopped doing it. At this point, if you agree with the move and it's moved 6 points, you could say, damn, I agreed with it.
Billy Friedrich shitting on Dominic Barlow? Dominic Barlow has to be top 5 players ever to play at OTE in the NBA. The Thompson brothers and Dominic Barlow. Name anybody else from OTE Elite that's gone to the NBA. OTE is the high school league that the players get paid in that go basically to the NBA or college.
In fact, I think that if you like the 224, the 224.5 here, you should hope that early points are scored. And then maybe you can move on to 226 or 227 or 228, get above that 227 so it's not a 6-point move. But again, you guys track yourselves. You see the spots you succeed in. And I made the rule. I cut the rule. I made the rule at 2.5 points, when I was in Costa Rica early, that I couldn't move past that. But again, you guys know what's working for you and what isn't. Let's move on to our final spot on the board here. It's the final spot on our show. Atlanta Hawks. We've heard a lot of love for them here in the chat. 9-6, 7-2 on the road at the San Antonio Spurs. 10-4, 7-2 at home. We're at Frost Bank Center in San Antonio, Texas. We know the situation with the Spurs. Wemby out, Castle out, Harper out, McLaughlin out. It's the Hawks that are now a question mark because we know Trae Young's out, but Zingis and Rissache are both questionable. Rissache missed the Tuesday game here.
The Rissache one is pretty big.
And he's a game time call right now. So, I don't know if anybody has any more insight here. We have Porzingis has missed 3 straight due to right knee soreness. Again, you would think that he's probably unlikely to go. But, it's not fair for me to say that, really. So it's
Porzingis, man. Whoever knows when he's going to play or not. His injury news report is I'd never read into the Porzingis injury news report too much.
This is an ugly group of games that we're dealing with today. I thought that spots would find.
You see why I'm on the Orlando Magic, right? Like they ain't really too much on this card to be biting at.
Yeah, you can explain it too. It seems like a. Now let's see if we can get somewhere here though. This total opened up at 232, dropped down to 230.5, and now it's up to 233. So we've got a 1 point move towards the over. From a point spread standpoint, we have a real legit move towards the Hawks. That you'd think that would mean that Rissache's in, wouldn't you?
I really don't know, because with the Spurs having so many players out of the lineup, mainly being Wemby out of the lineup, but I'm not going to read too much into the line movement of this game. Like this could just be straight up like people betting whatever side that they think is going to win, rather than like the line movement because of injury news report. I don't think Rissache is like being factored into the spread that much, because when he missed that game the other night against the Detroit Pistons, didn't really like budge too much at all.
We have Justin on Jalen Johnson over 22.5 points. We have Robert Franklin on Barnes over 13.5 points. So we've had this move from 3.5 down to 1. So it's right at that my limit, right? It's a 2.5 point move. Let's take a look at the cash flow. 56% of the tickets and 83% of the cash on the Atlanta Hawks. So let's see what Circa's done with it. Caesars turned this into a pick'em. What Circa did was they opened this up at 1 at 10 p.m. last night and just left it there. We're talking about books that opened it up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, obviously you can start betting on tomorrow's action right now at those books. So let's talk about Atlanta. 11th fastest pace in the league, 102.17 possessions a game. Shooting the ball nice, 48.6 from the field, 36.4 from 3. Spurs, 25th fastest pace, 100.04 possessions a game, 49.7 from 3, 49.7 from the field, and 36.1 from 3. The Spurs have won, 2 straight games without Wemby. That 111-101 spot, De'Aaron Fox stepped up with 26 points. Barnes went for 23. Keldon Johnson went for 18. Vassell and Olnick went for 10 each. We know that Castle is going to be gone for another week. Hawks come in off that 120-112 loss at home to the Detroit Pistons on Tuesday. That snapped their 5-game winning streak. Jalen Johnson went for 25. The Shea's cousin, Nickeil Alexander Walker, went for 24. Okongwu went for 21. He fouled out. So here we go. Atlanta is in San Antonio on a 4-game road winning streak. Brizzy, take it away. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I feel like odds makers aren't given enough respect that Atlanta kind of deserves without Trae Young. I mean, they've played faster and they've played better. 2 things that usually don't go together. Like usually when teams play faster, I don't know, they don't look better. They just score more points, kind of like the Orlando Magic coming into the year or something like that. Like very rarely do you see a team that plays faster and they look better. Like more players are stepping up while the Spurs have players out of the rotation. I felt like the Spurs were very lucky to win that game against the Grizzlies on NBC the other night. And that says more about the Memphis Grizzlies than like a Spurs accomplishment, in my opinion. I would like to know the status of Porzingis and Rissache. I keep on beating the dead horse when I say this, but putting way too much money on these NBA games for so-and-so and so-and-so to be out and me get 30 to 40 cents worth of the line. That can save you about 40 to $50 depending on how much you're putting on these. But yeah, I would like to know the status of Porzingis and Rissache. I think the Hawks are in a good spot. They've been playing really good basketball, 7-3 last 10. They lost their last game, but their last game was what we call a sandwich spot, meaning a first game back from a road trip, but you're going back out from the road. Like you're only playing 1 game at home. It's 1 standalone game at home. That's called a sandwich spot. And the sandwich spot in the NBA this year, just for like, this is like a side economy. The sandwich spot for the NBA this year is the most profitable spot this year. I don't know what it is or why does it keep on doing this, but it's pretty ridiculous. Like teams that are in that one-off game at home before they go back onto the road, they've just been getting smoked this year. That doesn't have anything to do with this spot, but I think that describes why Atlanta lost their last game. But I do like the Hawks here. I just want to see their injury news report. I don't think it matters. Like that much. It's not going to get me off the game or anything like that if Rishashir or Porzingis isn't in the lineup. It's just I would expect to get more plus money on this if they're out of the lineup. Like it's like if I'm not to be mistaken, it was like minus 105 the last time I looked at it. I think this line could go up to plus 120, plus 125, depending on who's in, who's out. And that's enough of a difference for me to wait a couple of hours. But I think Atlanta's the bet here. Sports books aren't getting enough credit to the Atlanta Hawks. You just gotta bet on what you see going on and what you feel in your heart. And dude, Atlanta looks like a top 5 team in the East, and I don't think the Spurs are that good without Wemby. De'Aaron Fox running the offense by himself. Look where that got the Kings. Damn near barely a playing game. So I'm not looking to back a De'Aaron Fox star-led team anytime soon.
Yeah, Robert Franklin saying waiting on the injury report, but it's Atlanta regardless. And strategic investments saying Atlanta's strongest statistical edge is defensive efficiency, 6th in the NBA with a defensive rating of 112.6, holding opponents just 1.14 or 114.4 points per game. I would be already fading the Spurs if they had a game on the road on Saturday night. But they don't start the 4-game road trip until Sunday, which means they don't travel till Saturday, which means they have tomorrow off, which is a little better. I still like fading teams at the end of a homestand, but I generally do that when they leave the next day and have a game, the following day, 48 hours between games. This is 72. I get Atlanta, but it feels like the Spurs are playing a little more than the sum of their parts. But I guess you say the same thing about Atlanta. These games all feel, except
I like
the one
Atlanta.
that you moved on, they all feel coin flippy.
I like Atlanta, but I don't love it. Like if there's 10 games on the slate today, but I bet Atlanta probably not. But there's only 4. Like you know what I'm saying? Whenever this goes back to when the Rome does the Romans do, Jim. There's only 4 games on the card. What are you gonna do? Pass and go to the next one? There's only 4 games. I mean, you got to bet games somewhere, and they all start in the same exact window. So it's like I would say Orlando Magic is my favorite bet. The top 2 leans that I have would be Philadelphia number 2, Atlanta number 3, in that order. The reason why I like Philadelphia, I think we're going to start betting these teams on the second nights of back-to-backs. The reason why I like Atlanta, they're just a better basketball team, like up and down. Like if Atlanta's going to keep on getting priced at plus money because Trae Young's out of the lineup, and that's the first thing that Capper see. Look at the numbers that Atlanta's had with Trae Young off the floor compared to on the floor. Their defensive numbers are 10 times better.
So we do have an official spot, but are you going to wait for the injury report to tweet out your other official action?
Yeah, more of the place that I'm at right now. I can't bet on my sports book, so I can't actually physically bet these games. But the card will be the Orlando Magic. I bet that last night. And then we're going to look to add – we got to decide between Philadelphia and Atlanta. Can't play both, probably play one. And then the player prop that I like the most today is Zach Edey. Eat your Wheaties, Zach Edey. We're going to be playing some Zach Edey props. And then let's get into some college football. The game tonight, Arkansas versus Illinois. I believe the quarterback's name is Lunch Winfield or something like that.
Yeah.
The dude's a rushing quarterback. He's going to rush it in to the back of the end zone at least one time. His anytime touchdown prop. Let me just shop the odds for it.
See what I can get you to.
Yeah, minus 140. This is what I mean about how drastic of a market his anytime touchdown prop is. The quarterback for Louisiana opened up plus 120 for anytime touchdown. That anytime touchdown is high as minus 180.
Lunch Winfield, I'll get his player prop here as well.
Yeah, it's as high as minus 180 and as low as minus 129 at Caesars. I don't have Caesars exactly right available to me, but I'm seeing DraftKings has it as 185. I would odd shop around, but that dude's going to find the back of the end zone today.
I love it, Brizzy. I'll be looking forward to see the tweet when you put out rest of the official action. But one of the Sixers or Atlanta, the Edie prop will be on it, and he's already moved on the Orlando Magic. Now he got 3.5 for our record keeping purposes. We're going to put it at 5.5 at -108. Brizzy, I'm looking forward. I love these Thursdays with you. I'm looking forward to watch you climb out of an early season hole. I've got to do the exact same thing in NHL. It's just part of the game. Some seasons we get off to great starts, some we don't. But in all seasons, we show character, and you always do that, Brizzy. And we will be rocking together, smoking blunts together in San Antonio, not far from now. Pubapalooza dates in. It is spelled wrong here, but Pubapalooza dates in March 26th to March 30th. Our guy Brizzy in the house on the Pop is X handle here in the chat. Please hit this link and support our guy Brizzy. Brizzy, tell us a little bit about UFC this weekend.
Yeah, UFC Qatar this weekend. It is Thursday, so we do got to give out the UFC play of the day because we cashed the LGBTQ parlay last week. Aaron Blanchfield got to finish him round 2, and Fatima Klein looked, I mean, could you have looked any better than that? We're going to go not the LGBTQ parlay. That might not be featured to the end of the year, but we're going to go Ian Machado Gary. And we're going to give you Saeed Zakhamayov. That is Khabib's cousin who was stuck in a one championship contract that was not able to fight for the last couple of years. But Team Khabib has been red hot. If you want to sweat these bets with us, you guys got to tune into the live stream on Saturday, 10 o'clock in the morning. It's an early morning. Get your coffees. Get your mimosas. We're going to be going live from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. on Saturday. So make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, and watch the video for the Locker Room Talk podcast, because if you don't, you're probably going to miss out on all the information. You're going to look at your sports book on Saturday morning like, oh, the UFC's on?
I love it. Our guy, Billy Brisbane in the house. Please hit that link and support Brizzy. Let's bring on our producer, young Jose Bouquet, to put a bow on festivities. Jose, do you have an LGBTQ parlay?
I do not.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's disappointing. Let's review all action, my friend. Pubapalooza dates are set March 26th to 30th. We have action here from Cappers in our chat. We'll go through it all. In the National Hockey League, I'm on Columbus, and I'm thinking of moving more on them. Really am. I'm thinking of adding action to it. We have a draw from Bobano plus 340 in the first period, over 1.5. He was leaning towards the Leafs. I watched what's going on, Jose? What's going on?
Nothing. I'm good.
No,
we're just gonna get stretch.
Oh, that's what it was. You were stretching.
Get a good stretch in.
Jesus, man.
I have no action in yet at 2:23.
Oh man, I thought you were celebrating something. Wow.
No, I could have been like Ghoster and just arms on my head after slapping my own ass in defeat, but no.
Well, I thought maybe your LGBTQ parlay had cashed.
No, only a select few get those parlays. Shout out to Billy.
We have the Habs for both Bobano and myself. Bobano also on the over 6, but AM, who's white hot, running hot, he is on the Capitals money line plus 122. Bobano and I are both on the Detroit Red Wings here. Bobano's on the over 6 in Islanders Red Wings as well. Bobano on the draw in Devils Panthers. I guess I can't fade the Devils after losing 5-1. There is the action from AM, all plus money spots. AM delivering the goods, man. Pop it right here. So AM Capitals money line at plus 122. I was beating myself up all night for not being on the Flames first period. I didn't have the balls full game, but tiny balls. You can still bet the first period. Rangers money line plus 175 for AM. Sharks money line plus 150. Canucks money line plus 130. You go 2 for 2. You're healthy in the black, man. I'm on the Flyers. I might like it the most. I just think the Blues are trash. And I don't care that the Flyers won over the Blues 6-5 in overtime. They completely outplayed the Blues in that hockey game. I deserved it. Or a shootout, I guess it was. Bobano on the draw plus 320 in the first period, over 1.5. Bobano on the over 6 in Edmonton Oilers, Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh, look at that. Strategic investments back to the Latinas in the pool. That's the life he lives, Jose. That's the life he lives.
The life I live is getting fucking startled by my dog.
We need strategic investments to roll with us in San Antonio. Bobano on the Blackhawks minus 114. I'm very interested in joining. I think I may join. I'm close to joining. I think I join. Draw plus 360 in Rangers, Colorado for Bobano. He's also on the first period over 1.5. I'm on the Vegas Golden Knights with confidence. Bobano's on the over 6 in Dallas, Vancouver. Bobano on the first period over 1.5 and the over 6 in Ottawa, Anaheim. I had expected to back Anaheim here. I'm not going to. Then I'm on the Sharks. So is Bobano. And I told you guys when this, it's so frustrating that my futures are looking excellent. The things that I'm saying are going to happen are happening, and I'm sitting here getting crushed in NHL. I think there's a lot of variance in shootouts and overtimes, and I think I'm going to climb back up. Bobano on the Texans plus 6 and minus 110. Now I've heard rumors from friends in the chat. I think Alec was talking about it as well that this line is coming back. That not coming back, but that the over is starting to move. And let's just see if that's factual. Yeah, it is. I think that's enough for me, honestly. I think I have to do it now. In college basketball, Spooner on Memphis plus 6.5. And that is not just Spooner. That is also Stacks play of the day. Robert Morris Colonials is Pig Milk. I'm joining him, but he got a better number than I did. Spreadsheet play today in college basketball is Pitt. Spooner on Brown plus 5.5. He's on Miami of Ohio minus 15.5. I'm on Colgate plus 4.5. That's Taint. Spooner's on Northeastern plus 2.5. I'm on Cal Poly at plus 12.5. Jose joined me on that. And this St. Joseph's look is appealing to me. Gorky's on the Kings puck line minus 1.5 plus 125. And Trill OG Bills Texans. I thought that was the under 43.5. I'm not even. It is, right? I'm not even seeing a U anymore. I'm pretty certain it is. Action Jackson on Cal Poly to cover. I like seeing that. And Thompson says Saturdays are for horses. Tell us, Joe. God, I miss them. I miss horses so bad. And we need you, Topset, back in San Antonio once again. So that is our show for today. Slatsy and NHL Wings, Flyers, Jackets, Tampa team total over 3.5. The Mad Cheddar play today from MMA Mad Hatta is the Oilers. I love that. Flank Steak play today is the Anaheim Ducks. I have some interest in the Raging Cajuns. Daby Cab gave us USC plus 10 and Miller over 72.5 rush yards. King Miller 30-30. And then we just went through the NBA. That is our show for today. Thank you guys. We have the email addresses, I guess, of our Gmail accounts. I don't know what the hell it is, but I'm sure that will change shortly. But Action
YouTube
Jackson
is weird.
It is weird, and I don't remember everybody. But Action Jackson, Strategic Investments, AM, Topset, Fernando Mendoza, Andrew G, Justin McKelvey. Also, big thank you to Bobano fighting through the sickness to deliver the goods. Billy Friedrich, a distraction, Lil Homie. Fourth and one entertainment in the house. Drummond double if Embiid is out. Embiid is out. Jalen Johnson double. Zubac double. Harden assists and rebounds. And Dyson Daniels over 2 steals. Robert Franklin, thank you. Jerry Jones, all of you guys, thank you so much for your support. Mo Harris, thank you guys. DC Capper, Bomb Polo, thank you guys so much. Jose, thank you for all your hard work, my friend. AM says we need Claude Bouquet to touch some ice and play some hockey wagers. Oh, he will.
I placed one. We went head to head.
He will. Yeah, he will. Mr. Sparkle Good says you turn political. No. Oh, just asking if anybody else has LGBTQ plays of the day. Is that political? Is that it?
I guess so. For some, it might be. Who knows?
I don't think it is. But respect.
By the way,
yeah,
Jimmy, I think it's been enough time. Now I've been wanting to ask you something. That's funny. Shout out to Good. I've wanted to ask you something, but I wanted to give you enough time.
Sure.
Can I hear your Game 7 of the World Series story? Where were you? What happened? Were you amongst your family and friends watching? It's been a while. I wanted to ask, but No,
that's fair. That's valid. Yeah, we were here. We had My wife's best friend's family here. Her husband gambles, and parlay better. He's a parlay better.
Okay.
He gets different lines than I get on 365.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, and he gets
Better ones
gifts.
or worse?
He gets gifts from 365 all the time.
Oh, okay. Nah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I like capping with him. He's a good athlete too. I like playing sports against him. He's a good guy. He's got 2 sons, so we were all in our Blue Jays outfits here, and I thought we were going to win the World Series.
Oh yeah, yeah. I bet.
Yeah,
I did too.
I thought we were going to win the World Series, and at that point, at the end of the game, we had the horse racing stream, right? So at that point, we had, I did the 9-hour horse racing stream, and then we have a baseball game, and I'm fucking hammered.
I forgot the horse racing stream was that day.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I am drunk. And so at that point, when I'm really drunk and something bad happens, it doesn't faze me. It doesn't you don't understand the gravity of a situation when you're lit up. So I was I didn't like I it was a shock and all that, but the sadness doesn't come until the next morning when you wake up, because you're still in shock, right? You're in shock. So and then also it's more important how you handle losing than how you handle winning, and losing builds character. And so I have to tell the kids these things.
Yes, did Ella and Carter see that?
Yes, everybody saw it. Everybody. Oh. Well, the youngest, their youngest was asleep, but ours were all watching. Oh. Ella had painted the black lines under everybody's face, and she would redo them every like 3 or 4 innings.
Did they cry?
No, they didn't cry.
Damn.
They didn't cry. No, there was the adults were hurt much more than the kids.
When I'm a parent, I can't wait to have my child crying at sports moments. So those tears would fill me up with joy.
Yeah. I remember the series that hurt me the most growing up.
I look forward to hearing Ella's perspective on this and hopefully 10, 15 years, because hopefully she'll remember this.
Ella, she's sweetness and light. She fills our household with energy. I'm hearing her laughing outside right now. She's my favorite person. Yeah. Carter's climbing that list, though.
Carter can be a dickhead, though. We've learned.
No, he's found a nice niche here. He's found a spot. Very popular at school.
Good. What was the series that hurt you as a child?
It was the Vancouver Canucks against the Calgary Flames in round 1 of the 1989 Stanley Cup Finals. The Flames were 56 points better than the Canucks. We took them to Game 7 overtime. The Flames won the Cup that year. We took them to Game 7 overtime. Now, the series against the Rangers, that probably hurt more, but I was older and I could handle it better. So the Stan Schmiel missing the... Skriko hitting the post, Stan Schmiel getting robbed by Hanlon. It was Rob Franklin says Packers versus Seattle, the onside kick. We all have that series that hurt us the most. That one hurt me the very most. 56 point. We had no chance against them.
Sure.
And we got back. The series that I regret the most was, again, when the Flames went to the Stanley Cup final. That was the best team in Canucks history. But Bertuzzi smashed Steve Moore's face into the ice with 11 games left in the season, was suspended for the rest of the year. When we tied up that series against Calgary in the first round, in the 7th game, Matt Cook scored with 1 second left or 2 seconds left. That's the loudest I've ever screamed watching a sport game in my entire life. The loudest I've ever screamed. And I was alone watching it. and it's the loudest I've ever screamed when Cook tied it up. And of course, we lost pretty early in that next overtime period. See, the thing is, Jose, all I know is losing.
Sure.
And so the Raptors won the championship. I was alone in Costa Rica. It didn't affect me much. Also, it was sort of predicated on the injuries. KD broke his leg in that final series. Like, it wasn't.
But you always have the bounce.
I do, and seeing the pain in Brizzy's face did help a little.
Yes, that's what reminded me of this.
Yeah, it did help a little. Zamnov, 96 Hawks getting beat by the Avs. Bronick getting traded for literally nothing. Yeah, we all have that spot.
Well, I'm going back into the crucible this year. March, WBC time yet again.
Oh, yeah.
This year, I told my sister, I'm not going to go to many games. I'm just going to go to 2. Venezuela versus the DR. Venezuela in the semifinals. I want my fucking Rebenga.
Yeah,
I that's the day I might get my ass beat. That might be the day.
We should get that clip because when he says Rebenga, it's like right around the in that drug deal when they steal the drugs and I'll get it for it. We should get the clip. Vincent Hawkins says the Western Conference Finals in '86 when the Rockets beat the Lakers. Wow.
Oh, yeah, that's when the Lakers didn't show up, and the '86 Celtics just walked on through, and they were the best team in Celtics history. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It was for me. It was that 1989 round 1. But let's go out and win. I'm gonna make some bets. And let's go get this money. Jose, I'm very thankful to cap with you each and every day. All of you guys in the chat, I'm so thankful to rock with you. I'm so excited about Pubapalooza being in San Antonio. I can't believe Nasty Nate counting down days, 125 days till we reunite.
Yeah. And again, please do not have a high expectation of when you meet me. Please keep it on the fucking ground floor.
Yeah, no, that's but you start loving him more and more, and just ask your grandfather, the nuke worker. I mean, he loves you.
That's true. That's true. I felt bad for Nuke Worker as well. He was the second person I thought of after collecting my Dodgers to win the World Series cash after Game 6.
Kent Davies says 2003 Cubs Bartman game. Enough said. I was watching that game. Do you know my dad? My dad's only gone on one walk in his entire life that I know of. He just went for a walk. It was after 9/11. 9/11, he went for a walk. I'd never seen him like shook. He was just shook.
Sure.
Yeah.
My latest one was Venezuela not making the World Cup or not having the opportunity to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that really pissed me off seeing a bunch of countries like fucking Haiti make it, and then the draw came out. Yeah, that really pissed me off too. That obviously really made me mad. And then obviously you get to see the draw. Bolivia's playing Suriname and then Iraq to make the fucking World Cup. I was like, that could have been us. That could have been us. Fucking country of choke artists, losers. And hopefully we can Rebenga this year in March. Because
yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. So that's early March, right? Before Pubapalooza?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go get that cash. Jose, my man, can you please bless our action and lead us into the future?
Yeah, no problem. And we're not going to talk about Canada beating Venezuela 2-0 in soccer. That was dumb. No one cares about that. Venezuela's, again, a country of losers. We're a fucking joke.
Come on.
We're a fucking joke.
Oh.
And, it was fucked up, Jimmy. Like, I hate my own kind, as you could probably tell. We suck.
I picked that up, yeah.
We got that. When I go to Miami, just with my cousins, there's a bunch of Venezuelans surrounding me. And it's just all the women are from Venezuela. And I get repulsed when I hear that they're from Venezuela. I'm like, no, I don't. No, thank you. Because you know what you remind me of? You remind me of my sister. So no, thank you. So I'm all set there. So I shout out to Miami and all the numerous amounts of Venezuelans. I don't remember why we got here. Oh, right, because Canada beat the shit out of the fucking Venezuela. But whatever, guys.
We did.
Shout out to you guys. And by the way, the triple freeze moment we had earlier in the show, that was great. Shout out to Spoons for hanging in there for that hot second. Jerry Davis can't Nuke, Vincent Hawkins, all you guys. Shout out to you guys. Let's go make some money. And Leche, Los Bookmakers.